Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Check. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very, very special guest. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about doing this for a long time. Then the pandemic hit, etc., etc. Mr. Jacoby Shaddix, thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate it so much. I don't know the last time I saw you was, but I do remember talking to you a long time ago, talking on the phone, or I don't know what it was. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it's crazy.
We've been tussling for a minute, man.
I know. It's nice to have you in my kitchen, man. I appreciate it.
It's good to be in your kitchen, my brother. For
we
real.
We were just talking about not touring for 2 years and all that. It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, it was having the rug pulled out from under us.
Yeah.
It was wild, right? I mean, I was out on tour in Europe. We were having a great run and one of our best headlining tours of our career, to be honest.
I've been following, seeing this stuff, man.
And hey, tour's over, you're going home. I'm like, all right, we'll go home for a few weeks or a month,
Remember it was a few weeks?
Yeah, seriously. A few months later, a couple of years later,
it's crazy.
It was an odd time, man. It gave me a lot of time to ruminate in my head and not think so well. I kind of lost it. I had
I see you running a lot. You started running.
I had it. Yeah, I was on it, man. I came home and I'm like, I'm gonna stay fit. I'm gonna keep my shit together, dude. And then about 6 months into it, I'm like, oh, I can't handle this anymore. I'm losing my shit. Call up the band. I'm like, guys, I'm not. I went My Chemical Romance. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need help. And they're like, we just were like, let's go make a record. So we went and holed up in a studio down in Temecula.
That's therapy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Music is the medicine for real.
Yeah.
And we went in there and wrote and recorded and that was great. And then we left and then we went back home and then my head started saying negative things about me again, the negative self-talk. And I was like, I love being a father. I love being around my wife, kids. It's amazing. But there's this itch I got to scratch.
100%.
And it's like a man without a purpose for a moment, for a moment is okay. But for months is like, it's dangerous. And I just started to lose it again. So then we hooked back up and we decided that we were going to take meetings with different record companies and see where we're going to put this record out through. And then we decided we were going to do it on our own.
Awesome, man.
We resurrected this imprint.
Cool.
New Noise Records.
DIY style.
Yeah, dude. And just doing it ourselves this time. And yeah, man. So we just long story to yes, we just went out on tour. We did a tour in the U.S. and I was gone for 6 weeks. And so
it's a long time, man. 6 weeks. When I was a kid, younger, when we first started, that was nothing.
Yeah.
When you have a family, it's so different.
Yes.
And shout out to our wives who didn't leave us during this pandemic.
Amen.
Because it's like they hold it down for us to be big kids and run around and play music and follow our dreams still and just and have fun. Because when you're on tour, your only responsibility is playing every night. Yeah. You don't have to wake up with the kids, driving to school, none of that shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
I will tell you, man, this time around, the gratitude that I have for my wife has elevated straight up. It's like I just understood it so much more because I was home and I was, being home that long and taking the kid to school every day, making the lunches, making the breakfast, doing all that. I assumed a lot of the roles because I was like, I could give my wife a break. She's been doing this for years, right? And so when I left, I just understood the work it takes. Really understood the work it takes, and I'm so grateful for her. And it's just so excited to see her again. She showed up 2 days ago. I just got back from the tour. I was ended in Mexico, and she showed up with my youngest son Brixton. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy.
And it feels nice to miss them again too. I bet.
Yes,
dude.
Oh, I missed her so hard. I was like, I miss you so hard, girl. I'm hurting in my heart.
Because my wife was like, the reason why I was still married after 26 years is because you did leave and come home, and we could miss each other.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Absolutely. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
It's true. But then when we're home for the pandemic, she's like, go in the other room. We all had separate rooms. She's working. My son's homeschooling. I'm in the office and shit, whatever.
Yep.
Like, just keep your distance. And
yeah,
fuck, dude.
It fucked with my head for a while there, dude, for real. Like, and I will say this, my heart goes out to the people that went through this shit alone. So, that were in an apartment by themselves, that didn't have a dog and I'm just like, I couldn't imagine.
I can't imagine either, dude. You inspire me to run, man, because I like running, but I don't love it. Yeah. And you were like, your phone and shit running. I was getting, damn, this guy's getting me hyped. So I started doing more running and more cardio.
All right.
Because we have these tour physiques, or we're in this shape we have when you play shows consistently, and you have your cardio running around every night, because we run around, we go off.
Yep. Oh, yeah, you go off. You know this.
It's a full workout.
Yes.
So it's like, then that stops. It's like, okay, how do I keep up that?
Yep.
It's hard, man.
I came home and I had the best of intentions, and then I killed it, and then I fell in love with food again, and I abused food and got chunky, and then I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta get fit again. Yeah. And then I got fit again, and then I got fat again, and now I'm trying to get fit again. Yeah, that's how long I've been off.
They call it like the COVID-19 pound. Some people
totally. I put on the I think it was like COVID 25 for me. I got thickened up a little bit. I'm working on getting it off, dude. It's like, it just ain't as easy as it once was.
And so, how is it like going back on the tour after that? It must feel magical.
I will say,
and scary and weird, probably too.
Absolutely. I think the fear really mounted against me because I had just been going for so long, and then took a break, and then I kind of really enjoyed, after a while, really settled into being dad, being home, and like that routine, and then I was
being kind of normal.
Yeah, exactly. I was
so weird, dude.
Yeah, totally. I wasn't like spiking my hair up every day. You know what I'm saying? I was put on the baseball cap and go. Well, I started to ramp up for the tour and trying to get fit again, and it's just a lot of fear kind of mounted up, to be honest, just because it's
not knowing, kind of, maybe. I don't know.
Just not. Is my voice going to hold up? I've had a couple surgeries through the years. Am I gonna behave? Am I gonna keep my shit together? Am I gonna go out there and like get lost in my old school ways? Am I gonna, just those kind of like fears that go through my head? And then I'm like, and then do I still got what it takes to rip a show? And then it's like I get in rehearsal and I'm like, I love this shit. This is cool. And then we get to the first show and have a great first show, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I
got this.
I can do this. I can. Like I feel it. Like it's still in me. I still got something to prove, and it was a great tour. We had a great run.
I love that. Isn't it so crazy to be that long in your career and still have those insecurities and those fears? Because I still have them too. Like, I'll get nervous, have to take a shit before I play. Like,
yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like the nervous turd, bro. I got the same exact thing, dude.
Still, though, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But then once you walk on stage, it's like, fuck, you just feel so good. I don't know, man. It's magical, man.
It is, man. I used to, it evolved from the nervous turd for me to, back in the day, I would throw up. I was so anxious. Not nervous, just anxious and wound up. I'd be like, okay, I got to go to the bathroom, then go on stage and throw down. I'm like, and then after a while, it's like I stopped that, and now it's the nervous turd, and I've had it for 20 years plus.
It's so weird that like by now we're not just comfortable with just like getting the mic and walking out.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing that we're still nervous and we still get excited.
It means you're passionate.
Yeah, because if not, we'd be fucking just like, that's what's it called? Dialing it in, whatever. Like just going through the motions.
Phoning it in, man. You can't phone it in. You ain't the type to phone it in.
No, man.
No.
Well, we're so lucky, man. So I definitely want to get back to, obviously you were born in, what's it called? I always say the names are Mariposa, California.
Mariposa.
That's where you were born?
Yep, Mariposa, small town, California.
Yeah.
Nothing going on there.
And you have two brothers?
Yeah, well, I got a full brother, Trevor Shaddix, who I was telling you earlier about my old man.
Yeah.
We come from the same father. And then my other brother, Bryson, he comes from Bill Roach, my stepfather, which is, with all intents and purposes, like, that's my father. Really, it's like, he came in my life when I was like 10 years old.
And that's where the name came from.
That's right.
I love that, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's beautiful. I never knew that.
Yeah, his dad my stepdad's last name is Roach. Grandpa, we called him Papa Roach.
It's so crazy to think about all these years just finding that out. Like, when I was doing my research on you, well, it's just named after him. It's like no other meaning than that. It's just family. It's awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
I never even knew that.
It's trippy that, we did name the band that. And we came up in the era of oddball band names. It's like one of my favorites back in the day was Red Hot Chili Peppers. What's a Red Hot Chili Pepper, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what? You know, what is the mean name? It was the main, the name. What is the mean name? What does the name mean?
Yeah.
Man, it's.
Was he stoked on the name being named after him, Papa Roach?
He was stoked, but he had no idea what we sounded like and could give two shits. But dude, literally, I got to tell you this. So the one show my Papa Roach Papa came to it was in Modesto, California, and it was back in like 2001. And this is after we were starting to blow up. And we did a show, and Steve-O from Jackass had a set, right? And so it's all these metal bands, and then Steve-O comes on stage, and this is right before we play. Steve-O's up there. My grandpa's at front of house getting ready to watch us. Steve-O's up there stapling his balls to his legs, smashing bottles on his head, balancing, and my grandpa's just looking at this thing going, what in the fuck is happening? Like, what's going on? What is my grandson into? And then we come on stage, and literally, like, the crowd... Modesto is a little rough, right? So the crowd is like beating each other up. People are bloodied up. And I'm like, what is happening, dude? And it's like the one show he gets to come see. And he was just, I know that he left kind of like a little disturbed, you know, like, I'm like, oh, Grandpa, it's thanks for coming. I love you. Appreciate it. You know, sorry.
Did he come back after that?
No, that was the only one. What? That was it. Never again.
Holy shit.
God rest his soul, Howard.
Wow, man. Yeah. So he didn't get to see you guys when you were at all that.
Nah.
Wow.
He just saw us when it was just a madhouse. But hey, is what it is, you know.
So, so it's true that your first year alive, you're homeless.
So my father was a Vietnam veteran, came back, was a recluse. Didn't he had this saying? My mom had told me. I don't ever remember him saying this, but he told my mother, you can't trust anybody that lives lower than 2,000 feet. Right.
Wow.
So like when he came back from Vietnam, he was wrecked. He just didn't want to be part of society. And my mom had a heart for this guy and loved this man. And so they got married and they lived out. They did like the hippie commune kind of stuff for years. Well, for the first year of my life, we didn't have a house. We didn't, you know, I was literally living in a van. Right.
Wow.
My bed was a apple box. I got a picture of me like, you know, when I was a little baby, just laying in this little apple box in the back of the van and, you know, parked up and, you know, it's just meager beginnings. Right. And it was like, we lived up in the hills and they were hippies. So it was kind of like, you know, it was a different type of homelessness. It wasn't like we were on the street, you know, on the corner begging for money.
Yeah.
You know, my dad would go work and, you know, do some odd jobs and go make some money. And, you know, all the while he had these rowdy habits of like disappearing for a couple weeks and, you know, so it's like kind of that environment, really unstable. And then I trip out on this. We lived in a teepee for a year.
A teepee?
Yes, I'm not lying. I lived in a fucking teepee for a year. And then after that, we lived in, for a few months, we lived that same year. We lived in a tent. My dad got a job as a tree topper. Okay. So we went and lived up in a tent camp where they were logging and doing that. And then finally I was probably like, we had, you know, kind of just bounced around a lot. When I was like 4 years old, my mom was like, all right, like we got to get a place. We got these kids, they're about to start school, you know? And so that was the first time that my dad was like, all right, let's settle down for a second, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's right when I'm starting to form memories, right? Cause you're 4 or 5 and, you know, things were cool until they weren't cool. And I, you know, with that situation, he's a functioning drug addict, you know, still is. And I mean that in no disrespect towards him. It's just, that's his path and that's where he's on, you know?
Do you see him that much at all? No?
You know, I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I saw him in 2017 was the last time I saw him. And, love that dude. I do, man. I actually wrote a new song. We wrote a new song on the new album, Ego Trip. I wrote one for him straight up. It's called No Apologies, you know, and I wrote this song like, I want to let this old man know, like, I forgive you.
It's beautiful,
I
man.
forgive you no matter what. Like, because the more I've learned about my father.
And then becoming a father, too, as well.
Absolutely. I understand the slings and arrows of being a man with a child. It's not an easy thing. And, you know, staying married, it's tough. And relationships are hard. And the more and more I learned about my dad was he grew up in pure dysfunction, abuse, physical, mental, emotional abuse. Yeah. Then he's a teenager, starts, you know, partaking in the, you know, the wildlife, then gets drafted to Vietnam.
Damn.
And just the atrocities of war, just, it was like the final, like, ugh, you know, and then he meets a woman like my mom that was just loved him no matter what. And, you know, it's like, God, my mom was a saint to that dude. And, but she just couldn't ride that ride.
I'm sure.
Forever,
man.
you
Yeah.
know? And so my mom made that tough decision, you know, and I was gutted. It was a really tough time, but you know, life is, what I've learned about life. It's like, there's a certain amount of suffering that we all must endure. You know, it's like, it's how I suffer. It determines my character. Do I suffer well? I suffer well. That's my goal, is to suffer well.
Wow.
You know, it's like,
yeah,
it's something that I learned. I was always irritated about the pain that I felt, or the emotional trauma, you know, and you know, looking
Were you
back,
angry kid?
Yeah, very. You know, after my mom had split with my dad, it was like I was a nightmare child. You know, like I remember, here's a great example. My mom starts dating my stepdad. He comes over. It's his birthday. Sets a birthday cake down on the table. Everybody's singing happy birthday to him. My mom and my brother Trevor singing happy birthday to him. I'm sitting there like, arms crossed, pissed. I take the cake and throw it on the ground.
Oh,
like,
shit.
I'm like, fuck you. You know, and like, damn, he didn't deserve that. Like,
he wasn't good enough. You thought it was good enough for your mom.
I just was
dad.
like, this. You're not my, you know, that, you know, you're not my dad. Well,
yeah.
Guess what, man? That dude, he suffered through some of my, you know, as a child, like, I wasn't abusive towards him, but I was just a broken kid, right?
Yeah.
And he loved me through it. And now it's like we have the best relationship in the world.
Awesome.
It's like he's taught me so much about what it is to about hard work, about compromise, about what it is to be a man. You know, like he taught me those things, and I tell him on the regular, I'm like, I'm so grateful for you. Like you are the game changer in my life. You know,
awesome,
straight
man.
up. Shout out to Billy Boy, Bill Roach, my dad. You know,
that's beautiful. So
yeah, I got daddy issues, Toby.
it's all good,
Yeah,
man. It's all good. I do too,
It's
for
all
sure.
right, you know?
It's all for sure. My dad passed when I was 3. Never had closure with that.
Yeah.
No funeral, nothing like that. My mom raised 3 boys on her own, and never had a father figure. But lucky, punk rock, I found different
Yeah,
people.
man, that's your family.
100%. They really saved my life. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like these different father figures. You know.
Yep.
What was your first exposure to music growing up?
My first exposure to music when I was growing up was, I remember my parents went to this shindig, little hootenanny. I don't know what they were calling it.
Shindig.
Yeah, a little shindig, you know. And there was a Daryl Hall and John Oates cover band. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even the real band.
Hall and Oates,
yeah, dude. And they were playing all the songs, and I was just like watching this drummer slay it and sing, and I was just like, this is rad. And I'm just probably like 8 or 9 at the time. And I just thought that was so awesome. And after that, you know, I was exposed to, you know, my mom listened to like the 70s music and stuff. So I'd hear that stuff around the house, but nobody in my immediate family were musicians or anything like that. And so I got into the school band,
Sick.
played clarinet. I was a band geek. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like I was into that. I did it all the way from 3rd grade, all the way through 12th grade, through high school. Like,
damn.
I was in the wind ensemble. We went to state competition, like band geek, top notch.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of great memories of that, to be honest. But in that time, you know, as a teenager, my first favorite band though, and I'm like ashamed of it, but it's like Poison. That was my first favorite band.
Respect.
You know, it's like, I was just like, who are these chicks, dude? These chicks are hot on this CD. They're like, no, those are guys. I'm like, I love this band. So then my stepdad was irritated that I fell in love with a band called Poison. So he handed me Led Zeppelin 2 we went on a camping trip, and I had a little Walkman, and I remember he gave me this Led Zeppelin record, and I put that thing on and listened to one side, turned it over. I was blown away. And I just kept turning that thing over and listening for 5 days straight. All I did was listen to Led Zeppelin. And I was just like, there was this obsession. It just instantly was obsessed with this record.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind about what rock and roll was. I didn't understand, you know, I didn't know about it. I heard a couple of the songs as a kid, but I didn't like dig into it, you know. And when you're a teenager, you're like, you're trying to find what belongs to you, what's yours.
100%.
You know, and then fast forward, you know, the next thing I fall in love with is I had this friend named Glenn Chapatal. He was like 23 years old. I was 15, you know.
The older friend,
the older friend. He's like, he'd sneak me some beers or whatever, and, you know, bad influence, or, you know, he was like, had a friend that was a little bit of a thief. Okay. His friend stole this box of cassette tapes, brought the cassette tapes back. He's like, hey, dude, you could pick 2 of these. I was like, all right, I'll take that. That's a weird name, and I never heard of that. It was Fugazi, and then Stone Roses.
Holy
and I listened
shit.
to Stone Roses one, and I was like, that's cool. All right. and I put Fugazi in. It was 13 songs. Put Fugazi in,
dude,
and I was just like,
that's fucking amazing, man.
That shit blew me. I went from like Poison to Led Zeppelin to Fugazi. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
like,
yeah.
And
record,
to this
man.
day, I listen to such a broad range
I can
of
tell.
music. It's what I love music.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. And I've fallen in love with a million bands since.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you want to do music when you graduated from high school? Was that your goal?
Yeah. When I was 16 years old, I met Dave Buckner, our original drummer. We played football together.
Yep.
And he played drums. I had a drum set, and I was like, dude, let's get our drums. Let's put them together and make a big old drum set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we just jam. We go up to his house and jam. Well, he was a way better drummer than I was. So
okay.
I'm like, all right. Well, fuck, dude. Let's like, I had to get a bass. Like, I got a bass. So I got a bass guitar, started playing bass for a couple months. And this is probably like 92. This is 92 at the time. And I was working a job, and somebody broke in my truck and stole the bass. And I'm like,
damn,
fucking A, man. Like Dave, like, I want to rock. You know, I want to rock, dude. He's like, fucking be a singer, dude. It's free. I'm like, because I had no money. And I was like, all right, literally just.
Were you singing before that?
No. No.
And I love this shit.
And I just was like, all right, fuck it. Give me a mic, dude. And at this time I was like fully into like, it was Fugazi, Mr. Bungle, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Social Distortion, Deftones, that kind of.
That's a good mix.
Snapcase 2 was another one.
Snapcase?
Oh, dude.
Oh,
fucking
shit.
Caboose, bro.
That's fucking awesome,
dude,
man.
Snapcase blew my mind. We did Warped Tour with Snapcase. Six fuck blew my mind.
Wow, dude.
So I was
cool.
an Uber fan.
Okay.
So I forgot where I was going.
Listen to those bands.
Listening to those bands. Oh, I got the bass. I became a singer. I started singing. You know, I got a Vox bass. It was a Vox amplifier and a microphone. Well, got it together. Found a bass player. Started doing that. Literally, we couldn't find a guitar player. My friend played trombone. I was like, "Come over, dude. Jam with us, dude." We had a trombone in our band for a month,
Sick.
and then I'm like, this shit is not gonna work. We can't do a cover of Jimi Hendrix Fire with a guy on trombone. We need a guitar player, guys. And so there was this kid across town. His name's Jerry Horton, who is the guitar player for Papa Roach. I was friends with his girlfriend, and I was like, "What's up with your boyfriend? I know he plays guitar." And she's like, "Yeah, he's into metal." And like, I just don't know. I'm like, I gotta meet him. So I go meet him, go hang out at his place. We'd have these parties, right, where it was like mosh pit in the garage with a sound system.
Sick.
No band, just mosh pits to our favorite music.
Okay.
Jerry was like, I met him there. I was like, out back, all sweaty. I'm like, dude, what do you think about like coming and jamming with us, dude? And he had seen us play before with our bass player and our trombone player, and he's like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm into metal, and I just don't think this will fit, dude. I don't think it'll work out, bro. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, just at least just try. And he's like, nah, dude. He shined me. And I pestered his ass until he showed up to band practice, and then he gave it a shot, and then I wouldn't let him leave, dude. I just convinced him that, come on, let's do this, dude. And he was kind of unwilling for a minute, and then like he fell in love with it. And
it's fucking awesome.
Here
man.
we are, almost 30 years later.
That's insane,
Yeah,
man.
it is.
And that's officially your first band.
Mm-hmm. Papa Roach is my first.
And you weren't
band.
even a singer either.
No.
So sick.
Like how? Like
only been in one band. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Me too. That's crazy,
it's
dude.
really one.
Yeah, that's it, dude. It's so crazy.
Shout out to the
man.
one band man.
That's fucking. So how many years now? 30?
Yeah. Next year will be 30 years since we started.
Dude.
Yeah, it fucking blows me away.
Dude, it's. So did you graduate from high school?
Yeah, man. I moved out my junior year. Wanted to live my life my way, and so I moved out. I had a job. I was going to school.
Where's your
working a
job?
I was a dishwasher at a restaurant.
Sick.
Around this time, I met my girlfriend, which was then to become my wife, which is still my wife.
Holy crap.
Yeah, like all these like
I
really
love that, dude.
big moments in my life kind of all were coming together at the same time. And so yeah, man, I graduated high school, did it my way, and you know, had a passion for the music. We were doing shows. We were putting on our own shows. We were like, we were always the odd man out at the shows too, because in the scene that we were from, it was all like all the kids were wanting to go see like Slater Kinney, and they were into like the Riot Girl scene, and like the zine scene and like
zine scene.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and the what was there was a band called 7 Seconds was popping around that area, which is like punk rock.
Yes.
But we were just kind of on the outside of that thing. They called us the band with the funk finger, but we were allowed to play at like these shoegazer emo shows, living room shows.
Wow.
Like you know Jimmy Eat World?
Yeah, of course.
So like the bass player had a band called Carrier back in the day, and they were around, and we used to put on these shows at my friend's living room. They came through, and we played. Then Carrier played, and another band, Deep Stream played, which was my friend Fleagazi. That was his band.
Fleagazi.
Yeah, he looked like Flea, but he loved Fugazi, so we called him Fleagazi.
I love it.
Greg Patterson, dude, I love you, bro.
Fleagazi.
Yeah. He was my roommate at the time. Yeah, he's legendary. He's actually still in the music business to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're playing backyard parties, playing everywhere.
That whole scene, you know, and we DIY style, and we really cut our teeth fully. Just, hey, dude, call up Tobin. What you doing, man? You want to go out flyer? You want to go do some flyering? You know,
hustling, man.
Hitting the hustle, dude, and like. At that time, right, Wu-Tang Clan is like baking my noodle.
Yeah.
I'm tripping out on this East Coast hip hop. I love the hustle around hip hop. So this starts to infect my spirit, what I like about music, how I approach music, that hustler spirit. And so we took that and brought it into rock and roll. And like all the while, y'all on the East Coast, it was like you were in the center of that. That was the spirit of music
man.
out
I'm very
there.
lucky to be out there during that time.
You know, and like I'm on the West Coast going, damn, dude, this is like, I heard stories about what it was like in the you know, the hardcore scene. And like, it just was always intriguing to me, you know. That's why I fell in love with Snapcase early on. Loved that band. God, those dudes, you know. And then I heard like nightmare stories about Earth Crisis. Those dudes, like, I was like, man, those guys, are they scary? Are they gonna like, yeah, dude, I heard like they
shout out to Earth Crisis.
Yeah, dude. Okay, tell me if this story is true. Maybe you would know, or this is urban legend.
Okay.
So, they were out on tour, and then this person invited them to stay back at their house. And then the person had a leather couch. They cut up the leather couch and threw it out the window of the house.
I've never heard that.
So that's a story that we heard about Earth Crisis back in the day.
Wow.
Isn't that funny? Like urban legends?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know if that's true, but
I don't think they do that.
I was always like scared. So I went and saw them live. I was like standing in the corner, like watching them. I'm like, all right, dude, these guys, man, they were.
But I love those stories.
They were intense. Yeah. And with that story in my mind, watching this band, going, this is scary. These guys are savage.
Shout out to Earth Crisis. They're still vegan. They're still straight edge. They're still the same dudes.
All right.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
man.
they stay true to themselves.
And they really lived it and lived those lyrics and really inspired a lot of people, man.
Absolutely, man.
And they did it their own way too. Like, yeah, that was a good show. First time seeing them.
Yeah, I was fucking blown away, but I was scared the whole time in the back, just going, I don't know if I want to get in this mosh pit and die.
Yeah, New York bands always have that.
Yeah,
those kinds of.
It was intimidating, and this is right around the time when I'm learning about East Coast hardcore. And I'm going, these motherfuckers are crazy. These dudes are crazy. Like, what is happening? I'm like, yeah, man. So I was always kind of like intimidated by that scene.
But you liked it too,
but
though,
inspired and like intrigued by it because it was just so different from, we're Cali kids, man. What's up, dudes? Fucking, let's rock, bro. Let me give you a hug, man.
Did you ever get to play CBs or anything like that?
Yeah. That was the first time we played in New York. We played in CBs,
wow.
dude. Actually, 23 years ago on April 5th, we played CBGBs.
Holy shit.
I think I have the flyer right here.
Was that a sick show?
It was so dope. I met one of my greatest friends of in my life, a guy named Renee Mata. He sang for a band called Reach.
I know Reach.
You know Renee?
Yeah, Reach. You said Richie Cipriano from Sick of It All.
You know it. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, Renee's been one of my great friends.
You was on one of the new songs. You were on it.
Yep, that's right.
I know
that's
what's
right.
up. Okay.
I've been knowing Renee since that show at CBGB's. Wow. He was my first friend in New York.
Okay.
And man, we went back years later, and it's a John Barbados, and it was like, man, fuck.
Does he still live in New York?
Yep.
Damn.
You're fucking dead to me, Kobe. You don't fucking call me back. What's up, broken fingers? Your fucking fingers broken?
Oh, he breaks your balls a lot?
All the time. I love him, dude. I will purposely not answer the phone so he'll break my balls in the message and I can listen to it. I love it.
Did you play a talent show and you guys covered Jimi Hendrix Fire?
Yes.
What
With a trombone player, bro.
Oh, what was your band called? Oh, that's a trombone.
Papa Roach. It was Papa Roach.
At the talent show?
Yeah, it was Papa Roach.
Wow.
Has been. So that was our first time ever performing in front of anybody.
Damn.
And like it was just a dream, right? And then the next thing you know, we had no idea what we were doing. We were just like, we're doing a cover of a cover. We're covering the Red Hot Chili Peppers version of Fire. Like, we had no idea. We sucked. It was no wonder my parents thought I was a joke. You know what I'm saying? And then, years later, we start to sharpen the craft.
Yeah.
You know, sharpen the craft, playing shows, watching Deftones kill it, you know, and that scene, that was like, that's really when it all kind of started gelled for me. It was when I was going to the Cattle Club, watching Deftones, and
one of the great band, man. Shout out to Chino, man.
Yeah, love that band. Absolutely, still one of my favorite bands. I love those guys, and very inspired by those guys. And
Chino's a great human, man.
Yeah,
good person, man.
And just to bring something so unique to music. He's just his own beast, and I love that about him and his band. So yeah, man, that was a rad moment too, watching those guys.
I remember seeing him on the Warped Tour, like it'd be 100 degrees. I always got a buttoned up, a windbreaker, Dickies.
Yep.
Fucking just in the crowd, like killing it, bro.
Yes.
Like
he just had swag.
Yeah.
You know, he had this like thing about him. I just remember just being at a show and just like watching him walk by, like, that dude's cool, man. He's so much cooler than me. He still is. He's still cool. He's still way cool.
So, you guys put out Potatoes for Xmas. That was the first thing?
Yeah, dude. So Potatoes for Christmas, man. That was like
EP or something, right?
Yes, it's an EP. It's like funk punk, experimental, like Mr. Bungle meets just oddball. Like, and then, you know, we
still finding your sound at that point?
Absolutely. We had I don't even know if that would be considered a sound that we did. It was more like, what the fuck are these kids doing? But I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my safe place, dude.
Yeah.
This is where I feel at home and comfortable, and like I could just spaz out. And half the time I'm just entertaining the other band members in the room because I'm such a weirdo.
Yeah.
You know, it was just such a great escape for us, because in Vacaville there wasn't shit to do.
Yeah.
It's Vacaville, if you translate it, it's called Cowtown. Okay. So I'm in Vacaville, bro. Nothing happens.
So music really saved your life too, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm like, I don't know where I would have ended up, honestly.
Were you like a wild party kid too?
You know, in high school I started to turn up. You know, I started smoking pot when I was like 17, 16. I was like slanging some weed, and I thought I was cool, hot shit. And then I was like, I did that like for probably about 2 months. And then I was like, nah, this isn't my thing. It's not really in like my culture. It's too, I don't get wrapped up in that. So, you know, and then I was hanging out with like a greaser crew and a crusty punk crew at the same time. Like I hung out with, I ran in some really odd, different circles all the time. This little crusty punk crew called the Insurgents from Vacaville, California, they left Vacaville, quit high school, squatted down in Berkeley. I'll go and visit those guys, tussle around in that world, drink 40s, and, you know, kind of get into some bad stuff there. And then, you know, this greaser crew, Barley Pop and the Hoods, I was hanging out with those guys, and they always had like a chip on their shoulder and very negative and wanted to fight people. And I'm like, I was trying to find like who my people were, essentially. And
were you a scrapper?
No, I'm 45. I've never been in a fight.
Fucking love that,
yeah,
man.
Dude, there's a better way.
Lover, not a fighter.
Absolutely, man.
I love that.
Hug, dude. Come here. I mean, hey, dude, my band saved my ass a few times from getting my ass beat. You know, I think the dudes in Machine Head at one point wanted to whip my ass.
Wow.
I don't even know if they know this. Like we were at Loadout at a show, Berkeley Square, and I was like,
Berkeley Square was the shit.
Yes,
man.
that was our spot. Like we would
play their bunch back in the day.
Yeah, same here. Love, dude. I saw Korn there for the first time. Dude, I saw Sick of It All with Korn there. You were on that tour, probably,
roadie, yeah.
Dude. So I was there in the pit, bro.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's
we were in the same
nuts.
room way before. Hey, that's cool.
Dude.
That was a sick ass show. I was blown away by Sick of It All.
And Korn opened up for them too.
Yep.
They were on the come up.
Yep, and dude, that was just off the chain. Like that moment, I was like, this is sick. Well, yeah, Machine Head, I think it was the guitar player maybe wanted to like punch my face in, but I probably said some cocky shit because I was kind of cocky back.
Were you cocky when you guys were blowing up and stuff?
Not. There was always humility because I understood the hard work that it took to do what we did.
Yeah.
But I had this air about me, like
proving yourself. Or?
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck, Papa Roach? $5." I walk around with a boombox on my shoulder. What the fuck, Papa Roach? $5. What the fuck, Papa Roach? $5. And I try to sell CDs to everybody, and they're like, "We don't want your fucking CD." And I'd get closer, and I'd be like, "What the fuck, Papa Roach? $5." You know, just trying to push people's buttons a little. You know,
well, you believed in it. You believed in yourself.
Just tussling, you know? Yeah, dude. I like that, you know? And so, yeah, I almost got my ass kicked a few times. Shout out to Machine Head for not whipping my ass back in the day. It's cool, you know? So sorry, I'm losing it.
No, you started to create a buzz and playing shows when that Potatoes comes out.
Well, dude, that was a couple years earlier, right? So then we're off to Old Friends from Young Years. This is our first, like, you know.
97.
Yep. This is the first full-length record. We mean it by now. Our bass player's dad is producing us.
Sick.
We're in his garage recording this. And this is kind of when we're really starting to like figure out who we were. And it's like a very experimental kind of record too, man. It's like it goes from like live. It's one song starts live, a live recording, and then snaps into a studio recording of itself.
Oh, shit.
And then a record scratches and stops, and then goes into this thing where it's like keyboard and this little like wind up baby doll making all these weird sounds into this like punk shit, into this experimental noise core. Like we just had all these different loves, and we were always experimental. And so we were doing shows at the community center, putting those on.
Cool.
And you know,
we started getting a crowd coming out and all that.
Yeah,
stuff,
man.
So building up. Yeah.
That was a thing for us, dude. We started a pull in 97. We were pulling like 500 kids.
Damn.
Yeah, in our small little town, Vacaville, California, 500 kids. The teen center would let us put shows on there, but all the money went back to the teen center because the city, we were rallying for a skate park. We're like, we need a skate park here. We're going to take all the money that we make from all these shows and we're going to put it in a pot. And we're going to put money away because the kids are going to build the skate park.
So sick.
And we were like, this is what we were about. And
did you skate too?
Oh yeah, I was a skater. I wasn't that good.
Street skater?
Oh yeah, I
Nice.
dude. And you know what? Right before Infest came out, I was going for a kick flip and landed and put my back foot in between the wheel and the board and went to slam my front foot down, like thinking I'm about to land it, and rolled my ankle and just the thing blew up. I was like, I'm trying to like go tour, dude. I think I'm done. I think I'm good right now.
Did you skate after that?
I still got a skateboard. I'm dad style, dude. I'm just cruising.
You're cruising longboard. Yeah,
I'm cruising. I'll go to the skate park. I'll go transition.
You can do a kickflip though. You used to be able to.
Yeah. No, I can't kickflip anymore.
Shit, man.
I can't kickflip anymore. That's shove it. That was like about as good as I got. And then after that, I topped out.
So did you guys open a skate park in the town? That happened.
Eventually, they did build a skate park. It was
man.
after I grew up and left the city, but they did build a skate park there. And it became a real thing. And those community center shows were some of the best moments of my life, to be honest.
Yeah,
straight up.
That's fucking awesome. So then you guys had 2 EPs before Infest came out. You had the Strax Deep.
5 tracks deep.
5 tracks deep. Sorry.
Yep, 5 tracks deep, and then let them know.
Let them know.
Yeah, man.
And it's crazy that Warner Brothers wasn't feeling the demo of the songs that were Infest, Last Resort, Broken Home were on that demo.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy,
yeah.
bro. Who listened to that? Like, who didn't hear that? It's nuts.
I look at it, and it makes me realize that is it really up to the industry of what becomes popular, or is it just what the people fucking like?
Yeah,
dude. You know, like, I will say this, the major label, they put us in front of the people. They put our music, they put it in the forefront, and just went hard. But it's like they heard Last Resort and they were like, nah, we don't feel this. And
that Broken Home either. Fucking crazy.
Like we were nominated for a Grammy on that one.
Dude.
Like what? That's wild, dude. For a band that put out independent records, 2 cassettes.
You grinded, dude.
2 cassettes, full length, 2 EPs before Infest. We paid our dues,
And super DIY and just really grassroots and really
absolutely
busted your ass to do it.
Yep.
Because some people, even me, I was like, holy shit, these guys have a lot of things before that. Some people might thought, who are these guys that came out of nowhere?
Yep, totally.
I never heard of them before.
Are they an industry plant,
Yeah, like I never heard them before, but these guys are fucking, you were grinding, playing all these like DIY spots and giving back to your community.
Yep.
It's incredible. And then Infest comes out in 2000. You know what's crazy too, I just realized too, is that Last Resort, there's a kid's got the Circle Jerks, Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, Dropkick Murphys post in his room.
I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about, dude. He plays drums in a band, this punk band called Monster Squad.
Okay,
they're hardcore.
But just in that video, just seeing that, and all that, and then, so when that record comes out, is it an instant game change? Or it took a minute? Did a single come out first? The video come out first?
So we dropped the record. Our plan was let's just get in the van.
You made like any other record, just this other record. Yep.
We're just gonna go tour, man, and like we had some great shows out there. And some not so great shows. I remember we played in Tucson, Arizona. There's all these hardcore kids, like all the hardcore kids. There's all hardcore bands. Wow. We're not a hardcore band. We're like this odd amalgamation of different things.
Of everything,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and so we show up and they're looking at us. We're all dressed in all black, you know, bandanas on our heads and shit. They're like, oh, these guys must be tough, dude. We're like, yeah, we fucking tear shit up, bro. You know, they didn't hear our band. We're fucking giving out our cassette tapes. We had these little 2-song demos. We're giving them out to everybody. Played. Yeah, dude. We start playing, dude. All the cassette tapes are they're throwing them at us. They're like, what? Fuck you guys. Fucking they hated us. And I just remember going, this is fucking rad. Let's fucking go. Like, you know, because I was like watching Gigi Allen fucking Hated, right?
Oh, yeah,
you know,
dude.
so I was like, let's go.
We don't want shit thrown at you. But
no. And I don't want to throw shit at anybody else either. But I just like that on the edge of like, it's about to go down type of shit. And, you know.
You guys had so many grooves and half times and mosh parts and all that stuff. I could hear that even back then, being a hardcore kid in a hardcore band, like, and maybe staying in my little hardcore world. But when I heard you guys, I was like, you could vibe to it, and you know it's coming from those influences that I always like to. You know what I mean? Like, you could hear it in there. You know.
I'll tell you though, man. We went out on Warped Tour, and that's when shit started to pop off, right? So we went out on Warped Tour. I always wanted to
in a good way.
Oh, in an amazing way. So we get actually the summer before we do 2 dates on Warped Tour, which was awesome. As an independent band, and then we got signed. We got the deal, so we're going out on Warped Tour. We start out on the 3rd stage, you know, just like
that's how it is in Warped. Kevin Lyman. That's how that goes down.
Got to pay your dues, you know.
Facts.
So we got out there, dude. We were about 3 days on the small stage, and they were like, we need to move you up to the bigger stage because this is when Last Resort starts cracking.
Crowd's going, yeah.
It's happening. So, dude, through the course of Warped Tour, I'm in the beer bong Olympics, right? I'm drinking my guts out. I'm still like, you know, kind of in that lifestyle, right? Starting to lose it a little bit, but I'm having a great time. The shows are going.
I didn't mean to laugh at that. I laughed at the beer bong.
No, it's all right.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's all right. I lost it. You know, Green Day's out there playing. They're lighting their drum set on fire every night. Flogging Molly's ripping it. Flogging Molly is out there ripping it. No Doubt did some dates on it.
That's right.
AFI was out there a little bit. Weezer did a few dates on that year. So it's like a moment for me because I'm a fan. I'm tripping. You know, this is cool.
Did you feel like you had a lot to prove at that moment?
Always. I still feel like I got a lot to prove. Even at this moment I sit here, you know, it's like, it's just it's where I come from.
Stay hungry.
Yeah. Always hungry. Dude. So we went from the 3rd stage to like, now we're cycling into like the headliner slot and all these, but you know, Fat Mike from NoFX is like, fuck these guys. You know, like, what the fuck are they doing here? You know, but whatever. He was cool. He was always cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're in those circles amongst those bands and I'm going, holy shit, this is happening. And we're rocking these shows and we're making friends with these other punk rockers. And it's like punk rock summer camp. It was everything I was dreamt of at this moment. And it's going off. And it's like,
it's beautiful, man.
This is fun, man. I remember playing over by the Stone Pony in Jersey for the first time on Warped Tour that year, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And that was just such a great time. And I was just, every day was a new adventure and a new opportunity to go check out some new music and make some new friends and, you know, and then the other stuff.
But did it happen fast for you when the record took off? It was just
it was probably about 4 or 5 months, and then it was like, holy shit, we are blowing up. This was not what we were expecting. We're like, let's get in the van and go tour and maybe sell 100,000 records or 50,000 records and like just keep doing this thing and building it. And it was a rocket ship ride to the top, like straight.
MTV, like new best new artist and the video nominations, all that shit, dude.
Yeah. Timberland's like shouting us out, you know. Swiss Beats is trying to make records with us. We're like, we don't want to do that, man. You know, like what was that?
My son is
Evanescence hit me up to do that song, "Wake Me Up Inside." They hit me up. I was like, I don't want to do that. Why didn't I do that?
Holy shit!
You big dummy.
What?
I was dumb.
Dude, my son's playing some hip hop the other day of an artist, and he says Papa Roach in the song.
Oh, really?
I gotta find the name.
That's dope.
He's like, isn't this guy coming on the podcast? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's a recent song.
Okay, cool.
I gotta tell you.
All right, respect.
It's just so cool, though, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
So yeah, you guys you're blowing up. You're playing all these tours. And does home life change? When you go back to your home, are you guys like the hometown heroes? Does it change? Is there love? Are people like tripping on it?
Absolutely, there's tons of love back home, you know. And we go back and we were celebrated and we celebrated our town and we always shouted out our town, you know. And then I moved to the big city, Sacramento. Woo! You know, some of my friends were hating on me because, you know, I sold out. You know, I'm like, dude, I fucking live 30 minutes away. My wife works a job here in Sacramento. I don't want her commuting anymore. You know, and then my wife eventually had quit her job and we decided to have kids. And it was just kind of this wild time in my life, you know. And
were you wilding out during that time a lot?
Oh, I was out of control. I was drinking vodka by the gut load.
Was it because of the success and not being able to like I don't know, digest it all? Was happening to you? It was too much for you, or?
I'm an alcoholic.
Okay.
You know, I was an alcoholic. I think from the first time I ever sipped alcohol.
Okay.
As a kid, I drank to a blackout. You know.
Wow.
And like, I kept it on a leash here and there. But once we started touring, it really started to spiral.
And you can get as much as you want anytime you want, backstage,
and
anywhere.
I was into the spoils of that rock and roll lifestyle. And, thank God I didn't get into cocaine, that kind of stuff, because God, I've lost friends, and it's tragic. It takes people from us. And it's like, yeah, it was a raw time, but there's so many fond memories,
and you still have
sprinkled
those memories
in amongst those, like so many great memories and great times within that time period. But also a lot of wreckage.
Yeah. And there's just some things you don't remember, probably.
Yeah, just blacked out, just partying, just going for it.
But not drunk on stage. Like you stayed focused on.
No, never drunk on stage. I get right when I came off stage, man. It was like, let me hit that vodka, and it'd just be iced down, ready to chug. Right, drink to a fucking then wake up the next morning. I feel terrible. Go exercise, sweat some of it out. I had this kind of little twisted
still staying
routine.
Professional in your performance in the shows.
Yeah, show always mattered. I never drank before I went on stage. And thank God, because I love the purity of that moment. When I'm on stage, there's nothing else but that moment. It's a natural
high, dude. Yeah.
And dude, it is my drug of choice.
Yeah.
I know that now, right? Like I finally years later put the bottle down, and have stopped doing drugs or alcohol.
How many years sober now?
10 years.
Amazing.
10
man.
years.
Congrats,
and I'll be honest with the people. I slipped up and smoked some weed a few times, and that's real. But I want to say this: alcohol was my nemesis.
Yeah.
That would make me make all the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
And I was not my true essence of self when I was intoxicated on alcohol. And it's been 10 years. February 19th, 2012, I finally put it down,
fucking
dude.
amazing, man.
The best decision of my life, man. Really, honestly,
and
truly.
You look great, dude. You look
thank
great.
you. Hey, you still pretty too, boy. Come on, 52. Happy birthday. Hold on. Happy
it's
birthday, boy.
Right now. But dude, you're 45. You look great. Your skin, your hair. I'm always envious of people's hair. You have perfect hair.
Hey, man, appreciate
it's all real,
it.
It's all natural.
Yeah, that's right, dude. I got a shout out to my old man, Rico Shaddix. I appreciate you, man, for that head of hair.
What side of the family does it come from, the hairline?
I don't know. I think
parents. I don't know.
Mom or dad's side?
That's something I heard. Mom's side, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Larry Scarlett. He had a full head of hair actually. He died. Yeah. He died young though, man. He died in his 50s.
Wow.
Yeah, too young, man. When you hear people dying in their 50s, man, rest in peace, Taylor.
Because I'm 50 and I feel like I feel so young. I work out every day. I skate.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm 45 and I thought people that were 45 were ancient.
Yeah.
Ancient.
Yeah. It's so weird when that becomes.
And now I'm here and I'm like,
dude, you're chilling.
Life
dude.
rips, man. Let's go.
So does the shit change for you? Obviously, financially too. Everything changes.
Everything.
Do you go from living somewhere? Or you obviously said you moved to Sacto.
Yeah. So me and my wife, we bought this house in Sacramento. It was a crack house, dude. We gutted it, cleaned it up. We ended up flipping it and selling it because a couple of my neighbors had been murdered on the street while I was away on tour, and I was like, all right, because I lived in the hood in Sacramento, Del Paso Heights. Shout out to the hood.
Wow.
But my business managers were like, we were making money, right? And I'd never made money like this in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm saving this. I've never had money in my life. They're
so
like,
being
listen.
smart about it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, you got to buy a house though. You got to do something. So I was like, all right, let's buy a house. We'll buy a house. So we found a house, right? Great little place. Awesome pad, man. I love this place. It was, not all crazy, big old.
Yeah.
I did MTV Cribs actually with this house.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I actually drove my sons by this house just recently to show them where me and Mama lived, when Mikhail was a little baby. And but man, I didn't know what life was gonna be like, and then I got money, and then I was like, oh man, they're like, you got to furnish the house. So I was like, and that's when I learned how to spend money. I was like, oh shit, spending money is kind of cool, man. I never did this before. I'll take that piece of art. That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a good time.
Were you being smart about it and stuff back
then?
Yeah,
definitely, man. It's so funny. They were my best business managers I ever had. And then for some reason we fired them. And then we went and got a different business manager, and he ended up going to prison for embezzling money from multiple artists that he worked for.
Oh my God.
I think he might still be in prison. Maybe he's getting out of prison right now. I'm not sure.
Wow.
I kind of got a resentment against this guy. I got to work through. I got to forgive this guy. I got to let him stop renting space in my head. I know this.
Wow.
But we went back to that business manager. I went back to the OG one that helped me make all the right decisions.
That's fucking
Yeah,
cool.
they're great. And now I'm responsible. Yes, I'm responsible. I stay on a budget.
So you have 3 boys. 3 boys?
Yeah, man. I got a 20-year-old named Mikhail.
Wow.
17-year-old named Jagger, and then an 8-year-old named Brixton. And you got
Great names.
how old's your son, Max?
Just one. He's 19.
19.
I love
dude.
those names, though. Woo.
Yeah, Mikhail Cielo, Jagger Monroe, and Brixton Gabriel.
Amazing,
those are my boys, man. They're
it's crazy.
my life.
I have one. I can't imagine having 3, dude.
Isn't it the best thing? Dude?
It is the best.
Dad life is the rad life.
I know. You see a whole different perspective on the world once you become a father, too, man.
Dude, it's made me want to be a better person, you know. And it's
Are you more emotional now?
Oh, I've always been an
But
emotional man.
I cried everything, bro.
I know, dude. It's that time in life, bro. It's happening, dude. We become a little softer.
It's so crazy,
It's
though.
a lovely
but it's
thing.
beautiful, dude.
Absolutely, dude. It's like I look at my boys and I'm like, they're just doing so good. It's like my son. He's away at college and he's facing his fears. He didn't want to go away. He didn't want to live far away from home, but he wanted to play this sport, right? And he's chasing it. He plays lacrosse. He got a scholarship. Trip out on this right now. My son, Jacoby Shaddix, is on the #1 lacrosse team in the nation for the NAIA, which is the cousin of the NCAA.
That's amazing.
And so
man.
they're the #1 in the nation.
That's
and I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like,
it's so cool.
He's wants to go to school to become a physical therapist, which I'm like, yes, because my back always hurts and I'm always going to the physical therapist. So maybe you can help me a few years down the road.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, man, and I see yours because I follow you on the social media, man. And your boy's he's a little banger on the drums, dude. He gets it, man. And from what I see, it's like you guys have an awesome relationship.
Yeah, man. I'm very lucky, man. I love it. He's my best friend, but I'm also his dad. And he has to follow some rules.
Absolutely.
You balance that. It's a balance.
Yep. We have the same thing, man. It's like my kids feel comfortable enough to come to me and talk to me about their feelings and what's going on in their life, what's real,
dude.
You know, and then also like we can buddy up and go have a good time. I took Jagger to his first mosh pit. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
We're at Scarlord Shore up in Hollywood. And I was like, I'm like, what's up? We're going to go in the pit. And he's like, I don't know, Dad. I'm like, come on, dude. Don't be a little, come on. Let's go.
That's amazing.
He's like, no. I'm like, all right, let's go to the bar. We'll grab a Red Bull real quick. So go up, grab a Red Bull. We're chilling, we're watching the show. And I'm like, I'm going to ask him one more time. And if he says no, I'm going to let it be. Kind of nudged him. I was like, we're going to hit the pit. He's like, let's go, Dad.
How old is he?
At the time, he was like 15.
That's amazing.
And so we're in the mosh pit together, and I'm like literally
dude.
like having this like tear of joy, like in a mosh pit, getting elbowed in the face at a Scarlord show with my son Jagger right next to me, just ripping, going off.
So cool, man.
So I take a step back, and I'm just sitting there watching my son in the mosh pit, just like, kids get knocked down, they're picking each other up, hugging each other, crowd surfing, and I'm just going, this is so rad. I got to share this moment with my boy. Like that's
man.
It's like I get a little welled up about that stuff because I love being a dad.
Yeah, me
it's
too. Did they love Papa Roach too?
Mm-hmm.
Did they like your music?
They love Papa Roach, dude.
It's
straight
cool,
up,
man.
and they're my biggest critic. I'll play them the demos, and there's a song that didn't make the record that my son Mikhail's so pissed about. He's like, why did you put Spotlight on the record, Dad? Like, you guys are weak, dude. Put that on, man. Like, hey, easy there, little hater. But he likes what he likes.
But they'll be honest about the song.
Absolutely, yeah. Cool, Mikhail loves the heavier music. He's all about the heavy.
Yeah.
And then he likes like some pop music too. He's an interesting little beast when it comes to music. Then Jagger, my second born, he fancies himself. He's a drummer, great little drummer. Plays metal, plays punk, plays pop, plays hip hop. He's also a rapper. Writes raps.
That's cool, man.
And he's a great little rapper. I'm not lying.
Wow.
The kid writes bars that I'm like, I think you might be surpassing me, dude. All right.
Yeah.
And he always talks about, wanting to do this thing. And I told him, I said, it's yours. Go do it. Go do it. I ain't going to do it for you.
Yeah.
I love you, son. But I'm not going to be the guy who recording you. Like, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
If you want to go do this, go do it.
Yeah.
That's how I've approached that. And because I don't know, man, I think these Silver Spoon kids, man,
I know what you're saying.
It ain't my thing.
Yeah,
it don't work, man. If like the cream rises to the top, right? Like go go put the work in and do it. And so who knows where he lands with that. He's also a great little athlete. And yeah, I could go on and on.
No, that's
for
cool,
hours
though.
about these kids.
Do you rhyme too?
Oh yeah, I'll write some raps.
Yeah, I was always wondering we didn't do like a solo, like a hip hop record.
Yeah, I have it, man. And
you never recorded any rhymes on beats?
No,
Nope.
not through the ages, man. Everything I've done, any kind of. There's more actually rap on this new Papa Roach record than I've ever done on any of our records. So
because I know you love hip hop too.
Yeah.
And obviously it's in the bounce and the grooves of Papa Roach.
Yep.
But you never really went rhyming on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Check this new record out. There's a track called Killing Time.
Okay.
And I got a unique style. It's a little Spitfire, and it ain't for everybody, but it's my thing, and I'm proud of it. I love it, and it's like I get down, I have fun with it, and I just love watching my little boy throw down the rap. So he's like, "Dad, check out these bars." And he'll get rap. He'll read me the lyrics first and then rap them to me. I'm like, "Go, son."
Is he turning you on to do your kids turn you on to new music and stuff?
Jagger introduced me to Scarlord, which then I do like, but we go, well, here's a funny story. Dad, I got to show you this group. They're called Diggable Planets. I'm all show me, son.
Yeah.
So he's playing me their tracks. I'm like, Jag, I've been knowing about this group since I was your age. Yeah, this is my shit when I was a kid.
But it's so beautiful when they find something and they find it themselves. Man.
Oh yeah,
it's nothing you played in the car 100 times for them,
Yeah, it's rad because it's like he's fallen in love. He's bringing like all this '90s hip hop that I was jamming out to. He's playing it for me. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Makes you proud too. My son's like, listen to Nas-O-Matic in the car. I'm like, oh my god,
that record.
That's like my top perfect hip hop record of all time. Of all time, dude. It's like, it's incredible, dude.
Illmatic,
so to hear my son listening to that, it's like,
yeah.
But I always grew up on hip hop, but I would never try to rhyme in H2O or do something because I don't want to play myself. But this other group, Hazen Street, I had with people, we had more like flow and that kind of stuff and that. But
that's right, dude.
Save it for that, yeah.
Chad, right?
Yeah,
Chad
You Found Glory, yeah.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
He produced it.
You guys did it with, did you do the record with Howard Benson?
Howard Benson, yep.
That's how I think that might be the first time I met you.
Okay.
I think it was.
because you guys worked with him too.
Yep. I think we were coming in right at the end time. We met,
who's
the big heavy, who's the heavy
Hoya.
set dude from?
Hoya.
I met Hoya for the first time, and I was like, dude, these guys are crazy, man. I was kind of
Shout out to Hoya. He lost over 100 pounds.
Are you serious?
Changed his whole life during the pandemic. I'll show you a picture.
Amazing.
It's incredible. He, to me, is the most positive, biggest transformation in 2020.
That's amazing. Dude, I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah, dude.
He's fighting for that longevity. He wants a long life,
Exactly.
That's dope.
Exactly. He flipped everything.
That's
man.
inspiring. What made him do it? Just kind of like,
I think just everything. The world, just being home, off tour, all that family, all that, man.
Yeah, just like, let's go.
It's beautiful, man.
Grab the bull by the
horns. You won't even
horns.
recognize him. I'll show you a picture.
That's all. My ex-drummer, Dave Buckner, he used to be a real
that's
big
right.
boy. He's half the man he used to be, dude.
Half the man.
Yeah, exactly.
He really is?
Yeah, literally, man.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's doing great, man. Like,
good for him,
we split
dude.
the sheets like a little over 10 years ago, and it was a kind of, he was having a rough run for a minute.
Okay.
Like we've all had in this band.
Yeah.
But he had to go fight for his life, and he did, and he turned his whole life around too, man. And
I love that shit.
He's got a awesome little son, Bon, who I love, and he's got this lovely mixed family, blended family. Two families come together, and it's like
beautiful.
He found his people, and like we've mended our relationship. It's like
awesome, dude.
It's such
Life's
a
too
rad
short,
thing.
Man. You gotta do that.
Absolutely.
Does he still play?
Yes, he does.
Cool.
He just dropped some music with Marcos from POD, and then Joe. I don't know Joe's last name. He's the ex bass player for Chevelle.
Okay.
And then this guy Lucas Rossi, who was I think did like I don't know what show it was. It was like one of those like singer talent shows.
Okay.
Not American
There's
Idol.
so many of those now, but
yeah. He was. I can't remember what show, but he won one of those competitions. And he's the vocalist for it, and it's great music, man.
That's dope,
It's cool, man. So it's good to hear him playing too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we celebrate each other. It's a good thing.
I love that. You guys are brothers, no matter what.
For sure.
So
really,
was there crazy pressure to make Love, Hate, Tragedy? Do you feel a pressure after all the success of Infest? Because you had like 4 singles off that record, man, at least, right?
Yeah.
Infest, Last Resort, Broken Home. What's the other one on there? I love Broken Home. So I want to talk about Broken Home, how emotional I still feel when I hear that song. I love it. And now hearing your story, how you grew up, not even knowing that, till I did my deep dive in you and hearing that song, I love that song. I get emotional talking. Like that song, that's the one I connected with the most when was hearing you guys when you guys came out. That song is a beautiful song, man.
Yeah, man. It was me trying to like make sense of that absence of this thing that I needed so much in my life. You know, that man that I had my stepdad, but it's different when it's your father, right?
Of course, dude.
And I struggle with that. I still, you know, it hurts my heart sometimes, but it's like I know that I understand the reason why. And you know, we wrote that song, Got Real, dude. The video was like, it was hardcore. Like I couldn't even watch the whole, like the making of it. I was in the room, and like there was moments where they were like reenacting you know, some of the heavier moments, and I was like, I just had to leave. I was like, damn. I can't. It's too much right now. It's too real.
Yeah.
Right? It's too, but it was cathartic, all in the same,
I'm
in
sure
this,
it's
in this
therapeutic,
way.
everything, dude.
And you know, that was one of those songs that touch people deeply, right? And like
save some lives, man.
We grabbed you by the heartstrings with that one.
100.
And I'm grateful that I was, you know, at that point in my life, I was inspired to like start opening up and like kind of deal with my feelings instead of just being angry at everybody in the world and like have this chip on my shoulder. It's like, let me deal with this like tangled up ball of yarn and like, let's start unraveling
and fix it. Yeah. Work on it.
It's like, I believe, right? Like I am not responsible for the things that happen to me. I am responsible for the way that I react to the things that happen to me and how I deal with the things that happen to me. It took me a long time to like get to that place. Yeah. You know, of like unlearning these things in my life. And like, you know, like Snapcase said, progressions through unlearning.
Yes.
It's like, right? How much truth is that? It's just
so true.
It's still like to this day, I got to unlearn things to relearn a new way. Yeah. Change. It's painful, but it's I need it. Yeah. Gotta have it.
So you're still working on stuff like that? Even
absolutely.
Late in life.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, it's I have a tendency to be selfish, self-centered, and self-seeking. You know, I have a really big negative self-talk thing that I've been trying to like tamper out, like quiet that voice and like find.
You're harsh on yourself, like a really bad critic of yourself.
Yes, terrible to myself. And I'm like, dude, you gotta like lighten up, man. Yeah. Be easy on yourself, because it's part of my anxiety issue. Is like I'm like a woodpecker on the side of my temple, just on my own. I'm like, dude, be easy. Yeah. Like, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay, Cobe. You know, and it's something that. It's a mental health issue that I'll deal with my whole life, but it's like I just need to understand, all right, I've learned a lot of things in the last like 2.5 years, 3 years about my mental health, like sugar. It's killing my brain. Yeah. It's murdering my spirit. So when I live my life very low sugar, my life is way better.
Interesting.
It's because it's an inflammatory, right? Mm-hmm. And depression and anxiety, those things are a brain, quote, disease. Mm-hmm. But sugar, all it does is inflame your tissues. Well, what your brain's a tissue. Yeah. It's inflaming my brain. And stress is another one, right? Well, then I got to go get sunlight. I have to get sunlight on my face.
So good for you.
At least 30 minutes a day. I need a like processed food. Try to keep that like down. Yes. I'm not perfect, you know? Yeah. But when I'm putting those pieces of the puzzle together, it's like my mental health gets better.
I love that, man.
And it's like I found these like hacks, because I don't want to go
just get on medication.
No, and it works for some people. It's great for some people. Sure. And there's been moments in my life where I'm like, maybe I need to go, like, try. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Let me work through it. Let me just
I think
work through
diet,
this.
Exercise, all that stuff.
It's major.
How you treat your body.
It's major.
It's all connected.
Yeah,
man.
It's ridiculous.
Like you can really fix things and keep yourself sane.
Just like your boy Hoya, dude. Like he put it back on track, you know, and he found those life hacks to
change his diet, change everything.
Yeah,
man.
it's so I've been finding those little hacks, you know, to heal some of those elements of myself. Yeah. It's you know, sometimes I implement them and sometimes I don't. You know.
Do you meditate and stuff like that?
Yeah. You know, I haven't meditated probably in about 5 months. But during the pandemic for about a year straight, I was meditate every day. I would. Wow. I got to get back to this.
What kind of meditation?
Just breathing exercises. There's this guy that showed me this it's a, I don't even know what it's called, but I'll show you real quick. It's like a not circular breathing, but it's, you know, when you breathe into your diaphragm. So diaphragm, chest out, diaphragm, chest out. So you do that for like 7 minutes straight.
Wow. And
it's like you super oxygenate
there's
your body.
What's the name for that?
It's, you know, the guy Wim Hof. He's like one of those guys.
Yes.
He teaches this stuff. There's a bunch of teachers of this stuff. But it really got me into, helps me with my meditation. It quiets the noise, kills the noise. It just brings like, it's like a hard reset.
Okay.
It's like, you know, when your phone or your computer's acting all wacky and you do a hard reset. It's like when I'm spun out and I'm losing my shit and I'm angry and I'm anxious, anxiety ridden, and everything is like a major issue, like just getting out of bed or it's like, I'm like, stop being a little punk, like step up. But this breathing exercise it works for me. It's like a hard reset on my spirit. And I'm like, I can start my day over like straight up. I can like be just an ass and in a just a funk, anxiety spaz, and do this breathing and pull myself out and be like, oh, hey babe, how's it going?
I love that, man.
How's life? You know,
it's amazing. Yeah.
And my wife's like, are you fucking crazy? And I'm like, yeah, I am. It's all right.
What about cold showers?
Cold showers. I
started doing them, man.
I tried it.
It's hard,
that's some man shit, bro. That's shit. Dude, this is some savage shit.
But it changes your hope. I dived in the ocean the other day, a freezing cold ocean. It just changed my mindset for the day because I had this doctor on here, Dr. Andrew Huberman.
Yep.
And he was breaking down breathing and the cold plunge and the sauna. And
the cold plunge
that
is so
stuff.
good for you.
I know.
I sauna regularly, man.
Okay.
Sauna is just, it's my passion. I'm like, I just sweat.
Like you do like once a week at least?
When I'm home, I'm like 3 or 4 days a week at the sauna.
Okay.
I work out, do 10-minute, 15-minute in the sauna. I don't do the big crazy long ones.
So good for you.
I love it. A pound of water, drink tons of water. It's great for your skin, great for your soul, spirit, everything. Fitness for me is key for that, you know, trying to stay healthy, get that serotonin and dopamine popping instead of like doom scrolling, because that does the serotonin too. But it takes you to a point where it's an overload and then you're depleted. So all like a healthy balance, right? This thing's got to phone's got to get put away. You got to put boundaries on it.
Are you good with the phone? Putting it away?
On tour, not so much, but while I'm home, I'm hard to get a hold of. It's like I put that thing away and I'm like, it's cool. I'll get back to it. I'll check it at 3 o'clock. I'll check it at 6 o'clock. And then if anybody really needs to get a hold of me, they know my wife's number.
I love that.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I wish I could do it. It's so hard sometimes, man.
It is, man. I can't tell my kids to get off, you know, doom scrolling if I'm doom scrolling.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
So at home, you're really good with that.
I do pretty well. You know, I can't say that I'm perfect. Sometimes I sit on that toilet till my legs go numb.
Yeah. People say that's why the lines to bathrooms are longer these days. It's because people on the toilet.
Absolutely. Ordering food takes longer.
It's crazy, man, how these things become. It's such a great tool to promote what we're doing, our music, everything you love, you know, try to inspire and all that stuff. But then there's like a deep, dark rabbit hole of insanity on there.
Hey, I got to tell you, though, man, with inspiration, like, and what you do with this PMA lifestyle, it's like, it's inspiring, dude.
Thank you, man.
You're bringing a light to the world. The world's dim, dude. And what you do out there and bring some hope to these kids, man, it's like,
thank you, man.
Shout out. It's
thank
dope.
you, brother.
It really is, man.
It's
like giving back to the community. I went and spoke at some schools in my time.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah. But just on some other stuff, you know, but it's like, I see you out there doing that and I'm like, you just got a heart of gold, dude. That's like,
thank you,
not
man.
a lot of people have that in them, you know, to like put others before themselves. And like, that's like my mark, right? That I try to hit, that I try to reach, is to be a man for others.
Yeah.
Right? That's the goal. Like, I want to be that, but I have this way I backslide into self, you know? And so it's this cycle of like, all right, enough self. Instead of being selfish, let me go be selfless.
Yeah.
You know? How did you come to that? How was that awakened in you? Like, where did that come from?
Well, just somebody had used one of my songs as like a PMA mix CD for a class in Rockaway, Queens. And they were supposed to write down something about their favorite song off the CD. And they picked one of my songs out of a bunch of other people's songs. And then this teacher grew up on my band. She sent me an email or something, said, hey, this is what I did. This is what happened. These are the letters. She sent me like 50 letters. I was bawling reading them. She's like, next time you come to New York, you should come by and talk to these kids. I'm like, about what? She's like, you're a dad. you're drug free, you're vegan, you're in a band, you're fully tattooed. Come break the stereotype. Blah 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 blah. So then I worked on this PowerPoint presentation, which I've never done. I had all these like what's it called, index cards, had these notes, and I remember going to my first school and being totally shook. Because it's not like going on stage. It's when you go on stage, people know you are.
Yeah,
it's
terrifying.
I went in this room, I had my back pocket, and then I had my thing on the screen. I just told my story. Growing up with no dad, finding punk rock, skateboarding. And the kids really connected. They started raising their hand, asking me questions. Some kids were crying. I was reading some letters they had written me personally.
Yeah.
And then after that, I told some people that I loved it. And then more people from the scene who were like on the PTA or work at schools started asking me to come to their schools, and it just kind of spread. And then I got a nonprofit and started doing it.
That's amazing.
Shout out to Travis Barker and Tim Millhouse Famous. They stepped up and they started helping me financially and like making pencils and erasers for the kids to have. And I donated a drum set to a school in Manhattan from Travis who had like a really bad music program. They had no equipment. Yep. So I started doing like that. I just love doing it. I love the connection. I love kids not knowing who I am. And actually some kids are like, you ain't straight edge. Look at you. Like if you saw me on the street, would you walk past me and think I'm a drug? Whatever. So just breaking the stereotype. Yeah. It was just super fun.
I love it.
So I've done like 40 schools already, but then... Then the pandemic and all that, and like, you know.
Do you plan on getting back to that?
Yeah, I got asked to do a school in a couple weeks, but it just, with the timing and playing 3 shows in a row, it's just, I don't want to go there after 3 shows being like shot and go to try to speak at a school.
Got it.
I try to separate those two.
Yep.
And just go do the schools. But yeah, I love the connection. I love talking to kids. I didn't have nobody come talk to me at school when I was a kid like that. You had like DARE, whatever those programs were.
Yeah, I remember.
But it's tricky because I haven't tried anything. So some of these kids at these high schools have more experience with drugs than I'll ever have. So I'm like prevention, not intervention.
Yeah.
Like I try to tell my story why I didn't do that. You can still do these things and maintain this lifestyle, look like me, and I didn't have to partake in that stuff.
Yeah, What? So why straight edge? Why?
When I was a kid, I was into skateboarding. I listened to Sex Pistols and all this other punk rock that was like anarchy and fuck the government and fuck your parents. But I love my mom because she was raising 3 boys. Yeah. I didn't know anything about Sex Pistols. I liked the songs. But then when I was 13, I heard Minor Threat. And that was something aggressive I could skate to. Yeah. And then there's a song saying, hey, we don't drink or do drugs. And I was like, I already love this band. They're like, fuck, I don't have to do that either. And my 2 brothers were watching me a lot of times. They were smoking, drinking in the house, having girls over. And I was so nervous around them when they were doing drugs and alcohol. So it kind of scared me straight in a sense.
Dude, I wish I would have fell in love with that shit when I was your age, man. I could have just saved so much wreckage, man. And, you know, dude, props. Seriously.
Thank you, man.
That's like, your story is amazing.
Thank you, man.
That's killer, dude. The world needs more Tobys.
Thank you,
straight up, for real, man. Come on, send another Toby, God.
So just basically made a commitment at 13 years old. I'm never going to do that. It's kind of wild to think about it.
Yeah, it is very wild.
Because then after that,
you're a freaking unicorn, bro.
Yeah,
straight up. You're still married and you're still straight edge, bro.
Yeah,
unicorn status, dude, all the way.
And then I make it through high school, like with all like the peer pressure. But then you get into the music scene, and there's more of that shit all around you.
Yeah,
and I was the only straight edge member of H2O always. Nobody else was, just me.
Right. Wow.
So yeah, but like
that was Jerry, our guitar player. He's always been never drank, never did any drugs his whole life, right? And he's always watched us just kind of lose our shit.
Wow.
You know? He'd help fill in the blanks. No, never. Nah. He never claimed straight edge quote, but he's just always been straight.
Did your band ever try like intervention or bring you places or?
There was always like, it was like the day before I was about to go down. Like I'd go to the guys and be like, I need help. I'm losing it. Like, and sometimes I wish that I would have just pulled the plug and went to a rehab, like a proper rehab. But I always felt this responsibility towards the band. Like, I can't cancel this tour, man. We got to go out. We got to go do the work. Like, and I would never like take it too seriously, Yeah. So my sobriety early on was kind of a train wreck, And
did you go to rehab centers and stuff?
No, never did, man. And I would go out on the road. I started going to recovery meetings and stuff like that, and do it halfway and not really get the full magic of it, And then I'd go back out on the road, and I'd be like, we'd get off stage, I'd run in the dressing room, sneak around, see if nobody's looking, pound the vodka as fast as I could, act like I had it together, totally didn't have it together, or I was eating Vicodin like candy, playing like I was sober, like halfway, just lying my way through it. And, lying is, it's you don't feel good. You don't feel good about yourself, It's like, it's bad. And so finally, after...
What was the last straw for that? Yeah.
there was a time I went to a concert. We were working on a record. I went to a concert and I fought in a blackout. I fought the whole audience, like in the mosh pit.
Okay,
like,
okay.
just fucking just being a idiot. And then like I in the blackout, right, just was disrespecting people. And my brother worked at the club.
Okay.
And he's 12 years younger than me. He came the next day. And I was just hungover. He's like, dude, I used to like look up to you and respect you, dude. Like, what happened to you, dude? Like, you're like a joke. Like, my older brother's a joke. And like, my wife had been like, honey, stop. You know, you're back at it again. And it took my little brother, like, giving me a little come to Jesus talk going, hey, dude. And I was waiting kind of for that moment, right? And I just, I went home and I was like, told my wife, I'm like, I'm done. This is it. I can't do this anymore. Like
Had you said that to her a bunch of times in the past?
Many times over.
But this time?
Yeah. And she's like, yeah. Well, 2 weeks later, I'm asked to leave my home. I'm not living at home. My wife wants a divorce.
Oh,
it was like everything was just on the rocks. I was living in a 10 by 10 bedroom at my brother's house, my middle brother's house.
What year was this?
This was 2012.
It's after all all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
End of 2011. 2012, Christmas time.
Now everything's on the line, family, everything, man.
Yeah, man. And I was like, I was really at my wit's end. I was like suicidal, I was like in a real bad way, but sober. And eventually I realized, all right, if I lose my family, I lose my family. But this alcohol this is going to take my life. It's like, I will not have a life. I will not be alive if I continue this. Like, because that's how I drank. It's just like to like destroy.
Yeah.
And I stayed sober, and I just kept staying sober, and I kept staying sober, I started going to therapy.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, individually, I started going to therapy. I did that for a while, and then,
did that really help?
Absolutely.
I want to try. I really need to do it, man. I've been talking about it my whole life, man. I got to do it, man.
You should. Yeah,
I really want to. I'm nervous, but also I feel like it would really be helpful, man.
Absolutely, it will. It's another one of those decisions that I made in my life that is one of the best decisions.
Were you scared to go there and talk to some stranger?
Absolutely. Okay. I had opportunities as a kid. I was like, no way. Opportunities as an adult, no way. Well, why? Because I want to live my life my way by my terms, right? Well, that don't work for me. I realized this, right? At 30 some odd years old, I'm like, let me turn this off. That my life, my way, living by my will, doesn't work. I always find myself in the foxhole, praying to God, going, "Please get me out. Please get me out."
Yeah.
Like, ugh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And so finally, February 19th, 2012, that was first day sober. And I haven't picked up since.
It's incredible,
man. My family has been restored. I was, me and my wife were separated for like 6 months.
Okay.
And that was tough. That was
must
really
have been so tough.
Oh, it was terrible. I was driving this. At the time, I was driving a Dodge Challenger car, right? Living out of the trunk of the car, staying at my brother's house, staying at the studio, staying at the homie's house.
Wow.
And just going. When we got back together, I was like, fucking selling the car. I don't ever want to see this car again.
Yeah.
Sold that car, dude. Got like, I can't remember what I got, like a Ford Ranger or something like that. And yeah, I was just like, I'm new path, new vibe, new spirit. And, started getting real spiritual at that time in my life.
That's cool,
and making some big spiritual decisions and really like having this like relationship with a higher power and really like finding like what this relationship with God. Like,
yeah, were you religious growing up?
No, never.
Okay.
Last thing I wanted to be was, follow Jesus and be sober. Right.
Yeah.
That's the last house on the block, bro. And sometimes I don't even want to be Christian because a lot of Christians are they're just gross. Mm-hmm. It's just sad. But I don't follow Christians. I follow Jesus. So it's a different. It's a different thing. It's everybody got a different path, right?
Yeah.
This is just the one that's working for me because I keep trying I want the self-destruct button. I'm like, where's it at? I can't find it again. I'm trying to find the self-destruct button.
Yeah.
And eventually it pops out on my shoulder. I'm like, oh, there it is. Yeah, man. So I try to stay humble, stay teachable, stay spiritual, stay connected. meditate, breath work, eat right, like all these things I got to try to do to like keep it from falling apart.
Yeah, every day it's something. It's a struggle still.
To stay
sober.
You
feel like in a good place now.
To stay sober, no, it's not a struggle. I've been relieved of the obsession to drink and use alcohol 100%. Like it's just, I'll tell you an experience I had that really set this in. As he's
drinking liquid death.
Yeah, as I drink the liquid. It makes me feel hardcore when I drink liquid death. It's like tough, dude. When they look at it, it's like, I'm good to go, dude. Killing my thirst. Sorry, shameless plug.
No, it's all good. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you. I lost my train of thought.
No, it's okay. You say a moment. It's something. You're going to tell me a story.
Oh, so my wife, we were doing work in the backyard. We were planting plants. Hot day. I'm like carrying a flat of flowers to the back, and I'm like, oh man, I see my wife's big gulp over there. Take a big old pull off the big gulp.
Your wife drinks big gulps?
Yeah.
My wife does too.
Oh yeah, dude, she's all about it. She about it. I'm like, you be careful. That's a lot of sugar, honey.
Is it a certain soda she likes? Diet Coke?
It's Coke Zero or Diet Coke.
Oh my God, my wife too, dude.
Yeah,
my wife just quit last year for almost a year, and then she just fell off. And
she's back.
Like, and I was like, I'm only doing it on the weekends.
All right.
And for our 10-year wedding anniversary, I got her a big gulp necklace with 10 diamonds.
Are you serious?
Yeah, bro.
You are a G, dude.
She's about that life.
That's so badass, dude. If my wife would lose her shit if I got her a big old fucking necklace. That's shit.
But then I was just like,
enabling her to that's trigger shit, bro. She was like looking at this necklace going.
I know. So yeah, that's amazing. Big. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I grabbed the big gulp.
Take
I
a nice
chug
sip
it.
of that Diet Coke.
Oh man, it's great. I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, hold on. I'm tasting it. I'm like, oh God. There's alcohol in there. I was like, there's alcohol in there, and I'm freaking out. I'm starting to panic, and I'm like, start to shake, and I instantly start crying. And my wife's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, was there alcohol? She's like, did you drink that? And I'm like, I took a big old chug, and I'm like, so I'm running, crying, instantly, like just panic mode, right? And I can't control my emotions at this point.
Yeah.
Because this shit is poison. It is poison to my body.
Yeah.
I go in the sink and I start chugging water real quick and then start jamming my fingers down my throat. Damn. And I'm throwing up in my sink, frantically trying to get anything in my stomach out of my body because I'm afraid, because once that thing touches like that thing inside of me that makes me feel warm and fuzzy, all bets are off. It's like, it's like one sip is too much, a million ain't enough. Like, it's like I have that sick relationship, and I don't know where it stems from. I don't know why, but I know that sober me is the one that I need, my wife needs, my kids need.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's
the world needs.
Yeah. That's the me that is like productive and compassionate, caring, giving, thoughtful, forgiving, you know, like that kind of, that's who I want to be. That's like, that's who I am innately, but I found this poison at a young age. Right. And and was just destroying myself. And so
does that count as a day then? If that happens, you count it as like, I'm not sober anymore. Did you harding yourself about? Yeah, no way.
That ain't a slip, dude. It's like when you're falling off the wagon, you know I know what I'm doing, you know, and I did that plenty. And, there's something to be said for me. That is the one thing in my life that I have never lied about ever I haven't picked up a sip of alcohol in 10 years.
It's incredible, man.
And to me, I'm like, wow, that's a miracle.
It's amazing.
You know, but I had smoked some weed in the time,
it's okay,
and
man. You're not perfect.
I call my sponsor. I'm like, all right, starting over. You know, like I get it. You know.
Yeah.
But it's
So if you smoke weed but you don't drink alcohol, that means you fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
In certain circles, yes.
Okay.
But I'm my own man.
Yeah.
You know, and I can celebrate what I care to celebrate.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely proud of that, you know, and I'm not perfect. I know that.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. Dude.
And I have this thing inside me that wants to destroy me. I know this, and it's waiting to get out, and it's finding a way to, am I going to abuse pornography? Am I going to abuse food?
Yeah.
Where's this thing going to come out of me? How's it trying to like defeat me? And I know that about myself, so I just got to stay vigilant and stay, you know, centered and stay spiritual and teachable, and then I can do this life.
I love it, man.
Not be a train wreck, because It's just it ain't what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, this is a new
I'm
chapter
supposed
of
to
your life.
thrive, baby. I need to thrive. I don't want to just survive. Come on.
You seem like a person that's like no regrets.
You know, I'd like to say that I don't, but there are some things that I would definitely take back. You know, there's been infidelity in my marriage, man, and I did wrong, and I've owned up to that, and I had to. I carry that, right? And it's like it's something that I'm not proud of, but it's, you know, that's the thing about that drink is it makes me make all the wrong decisions. Yeah. And I came clean. I was honest about it.
Shout out to your wife, man.
Yeah, I mean,
she's been with you through so much since high school. High school love, it's crazy. It's so beautiful, man.
I want to be. You know who I am today? I'm the man that my wife deserves. Like that's the goal. That. You know, that's like this. That's the space I'm in, and it's awesome when I am the man that she deserves. Like I want to serve my queen. You know, it's like I leading up to seeing her. You know, a couple of days ago, I was just like, oh my God, I've never missed this woman so hard. Like I told her, I'm like, man. I miss you so hard, baby. You know, like, I miss you
that's
so
true
bad.
Love, though. It's true love, man.
I just held her in my arms the other night, and I was like, oh. She's like, are you gonna let me go? I'm like, nope. I'm just gonna hold on to you a little bit longer.
Just to be there through the highs and lows of your career and your life, dude.
Yeah, and
she's
you know
gangster, man.
Yeah, she is gangster, dude, and she's a bad motherfucker. You know that Pulp Fiction movie with the wallet that says "bad motherfucker"? Yeah, she got one, dude. She's totally got that wallet, and you know, it's like, and on the other hand, like we're both very strong personalities. Yeah, she's an alpha, I'm an alpha. Yeah, and we live together and we do this life together. But it takes an alpha female to like hold it down when I'm gone.
Of course. I got one too, man. I'm lucky, man.
There's been moments where I got to forgive her too, because she ain't always nice. Yeah.
Okay, I want to get to Ego Trip.
Schnibbles.
But there was so also Love, Hate, Tragedy. Yeah. And then Getting Away with Murder. And the Paramore sessions, and then Metamorphosis, and then The Connection, and then Fear, then Crooked Teeth.
So many.
And Who Do You Trust? There's so many records. You guys just stay grinding and working, though, man.
I stay grinding, my friend.
You guys never stopped. Like,
no.
But did you feel pressure? Obviously, Love, Hate, Tragedy. Yeah. Yeah, She Loves Me Not on there. That was the single, right? One of the singles. Yep. But did you feel pressure after Infest to continue to try to have hit songs, or nothing? You had no pressure of that on you?
There was pressure there, but
did you give yourself, or the label gave to you?
Internally and externally.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and so we knew we had we had important music to write, but then we also knew that like this wasn't about like singles ever to us. And then
even after the hit record.
It was like we're like, I don't know how to I don't know how to write a hit. Like Last Resort was a hit, but I don't know how to write a hit.
Even the label didn't hear it on the demo. So you're like, fuck.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making music, right? Yeah. So we went in and made another record, and it was considered an industry failure, like total flop.
But it's still sold millions, didn't it?
It's so, in America, it just almost sold 1 million records. Okay. It's like right there, right? Whereas outside of the world, it did sell a couple million records worldwide. But that's like, you know, after we sell 6 million worldwide. That's what Infest was? Wow. Yeah, 6 million worldwide, which is probably like 8 now or
hell yeah,
by
9. Now. Because you still hear those songs all the time. I still hear those songs.
It's dude. It blows me
away. Were you
tripped
when you first heard your songs on the radio too?
Absolutely. We pulled the van over. We were on our way in the van on the way down south to do a show at the Troubadour. And we pulled the van over. And this is Papa Roach with Last Resort, brand new band. We pulled that fucking van over and partied. Like we were just like, yes, let's go. It was just
must be a sick feeling, man.
And it still gets me off when I hear it on the radio. Sure. I'm like, I turn up, dude. I'm like, let's get it, dude.
You should be proud. It's just
I am absolutely.
But all the records after that. Are there certain ones you love after that? Like, what's your favorite Papa Roach album? You're gonna say the new one, Ego Trip, probably.
I love Ego Trip. Yeah. But aside of Ego Trip.
I love the name too, by the way. It's a De La Soul song.
Yeah, oh, really? I didn't know that.
Ego Trip.
Okay, cool.
Ego Trip.
Maybe I do. Maybe I do know.
Trip. Ego Trip. You got to hear it. It's a great song.
Okay, I'll listen to it on the way out.
I almost thought that might be an influence. Yeah, go ahead.
So.
There's so many records, though.
It's either Crooked Teeth or Getting Away with Murder for me.
Okay.
Getting Away with Murder, reason around that one is that was the first time I tried to put the drink down. And I was really struggling at this point, but I was like, stringing together 10, 20, 50, 60 days of sobriety here and there. But I was really unhealthy, you know. But in that time, we made a record that it turned our career around. it gave us a new life. We went and sold 1.5 million records on that thing after we were considered a dead band, you know? And so that kind of brought us back. And
2004. Wow.
Yeah. That's like when emo, like My Chem was coming, you know, and like all those, that emo scene was really starting to pop. Our fans were giving us hella hate. I said hella.
Totally West Coast.
Yeah. They were hating on me because I started wearing eyeliner, you know, and they're like, "Oh, you're lit," and I'm like, "Well, whatever. I'm just trying to I'm just doing my thing, dude. I'm growing my hair out, dude. Rock and roll, you know."
Yeah.
And but it was such a great record for us, and we brought our touring back.
Awesome.
People were coming to see us, you know, and then with Crooked Teeth, you know, the records in between Getting Away with Murder and Crooked Teeth, there was this like kind of like cock rock era of Papa Roach where it's like, you know, big rock anthems, and you know, I fell in love with Queen and that kind of stuff, and I kind of felt like we started to lose the plot a little bit and sound like an average white guy rock band. And I'm like, I don't want to sound like average white guy rock. Like I gotta, like we used to be freaky and odd and like our own thing. And so we started.
Did you feel pressure to stay relevant during all that time?
I always.
And we kept your name out there.
We kept having songs that were hit singles.
Sick, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, that's dope. Like and I loved it. I loved what we were doing at the time. Like I've always loved each moment until the moment's gone, and I look back and I go, well, do I really like that moment? You know? And so I look back and I was like, I think we're painting ourselves in a corner, dude. We need to start working with some young producers. And so we did some sessions with some young producers. That's when we did Crooked Teeth, and we re-identified ourselves as a band that is experimental. We're in our own lane. We're doing our own thing, and we're making a record that sounds more like a playlist than necessarily like the same style over and over.
Yeah. And I do love when bands change it up and they try different things, use other influences, because you don't just listen to one type of music. It's obvious.
It's my shit.
So when you can actually do that and have time to do that and take a chance to do that, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I think bands that put out the same records over again like a machine, like, here's our new record, here's our touring cycle, here's a new merch, now it's another record. Just make them really quick.
It all sounds the same. It just becomes the same thing.
Yeah, it's like robotic. And I love that you guys, after all the success, has still tried to change it up. And
absolutely, man.
Because it's growing, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we had some great touring on Crooked Teeth, and then, you know, we put
What's that album named? Because your teeth look pretty good to me.
It just I love the imperfection of it, right? Just crooked teeth. It's like you could have this beautiful girl, and then like, you know, maybe she just like everything is perfect, and then she opens her mouth and smiles, and there's crooked teeth there. Yeah. It's like, it's still beautiful. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
are you the main songwriter too, with everything lyrics?
I'm a lyric writer, melody writer. I don't write the music. I'm not a musical guy. I don't play guitar. I do arrangements. I mess with the arrangements.
Awesome.
That's a thing that I participate in. Lyrics and melody.
Artwork and stuff, your ideas too?
No, artwork on that level. Like, I'm not the artist guy. We've been working with this dude, Darren Craig, for some years. He came from the scene up in Sacramento. Great artist. He was actually one of the first dudes that helped me get sober back in the day. Shout out Darren Craig. Nice. I love you. But he just this punk dude that taught me how to, stencil. So I started, going to sobriety meetings and then sneaking out at night and tagging Hollywood with a picture of me, just goofing off, right? Trying to keep it together. Well, he's now our art director. He does a bunch of our art with us. And he works with like Kanye West and Nicki Minaj and Rihanna, but he's this odd punk rocker dude, right? That just it's got a unique perspective, and he likes to work with his rock and rollers from Sacramento,
It's awesome, man.
So we dipping with him, but now we're at this new record. We just dropped this one, and bang,
ego trip.
My life is changing again, dude. It's
I
wild.
listened to some of the songs too. You have the Swerve one with the kid from Fever 333.
Yeah, and, Jay.
Dying to Believe and Stand Up and Kill. This is all the songs, and I love them all. Like they all have their own little. They're different in a sense. Each
Absolutely,
of them, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. They got their own life, and this record is it's another one of those kind of playlist type records that each song is a kind of an island, and you just jump to the next one. And where are we taking you on this one? It's just this journey. Hence the artwork of this dilapidated theme park. Yeah, and the rebirth and regrowth of like. The earth is coming back to like reclaim. Yes. And I love that rebirth and growth. I love that story. And so we told that through the art.
That's this journey.
Man. Absolutely. This journey, right? Like Darren always has a really interesting way to like tell a story through art. And I love what he does. I'm one of his biggest fans. I love I love his art. I love his photography. I love what he does. And but yeah, this record, it's it's very sprawling stylistically. There's a ballad on this record.
Awesome.
Leave a Light On. I wrote that one for my boys, you know, like no matter what, like the message is like, no matter where you go, if you find yourself lost or out there cold in the dark alone, like you can always come back and we can get through this together. Like I got you. I got you no matter what. I need my kids to know that, you know, it's like, cause they're going to be part of the world now. They're gonna, and it's a cruel fucking world.
It is,
you know? And so, hey, Daddy got your back.
I love that. You know what's crazy about like that leaving the nest syndrome, and like how like we made these kids out of love with our wives, and we raise these kids, but we don't own these kids.
Nope.
And then when they're old enough to go, they just go, and it's like, my son's 19. I keep telling that Billie Eilish is like 20. She lives at home still. There's no need to rush. Like I have this whole fear of like him like leaving.
Yeah.
But we did the best we could to raise him with compassion and love and all that stuff. So we did our job, and then they go out there and they
become part of the world.
Yeah, but it's just this.
It's like it's like peeling Velcro. It's like.
Yeah. But I love Leave the Light On because they can always come home. There's always home for them. They can always come.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. And so it's and then there's a track on this record, Cut the Line. My son Jagger, he's got some of the same kind of mental rumination, dark negative voice things that happen in his head. And it's been really helpful for me to be able to kind of tell him my experience and how I have dealt with those things and what I implement into my life, whether it's the fitness, the less sugar, what garbage am I feeding myself, media wise, you know, all those things, they affect.
100%, man.
And, you know, I'm a pretty sensitive dude, so almost hypersensitive in a way. So I really have to be like mindful of what I let in. And so this song, Cut the Line, it's about that like negative self-talk, you know, a message to my son, like, you know, when you are, you know, are you tangled up inside? Is there something that you hide? Are you twisted up and don't know why? Cut the line. Like, you know, don't listen to the voice in that little voice, you know, don't listen to the voices in your head. That's not you. Your voice is, the negative self-talk is not you.
Yeah.
It's like, push it to the side, you know.
I love it.
I learned a lot about being a father as my kids have become teenagers, you know. It's like it's an experiment. I mean, this is my first time doing it. You know,
everything is all different chapters of their lives.
I love all of it though, dude.
Me too, man. It goes by so fast.
Oh,
man.
I know.
That's why I wish I had another one. I love you, Max. I only, you know, it's not like I don't like you, but have another kid would be nice to have like a little younger one.
Yeah, you know, it's like I got my 8-year-old. He's like, I'm still a hero for a minute. He's like, Dad, what do you think? I'm like, oh, my little bubbers, come here. How about a big hug? He gives me a big
It's
hug.
that communication that's so important, so your kids can be open to tell you everything, not be scared to tell you nothing. Have that trust. It's so important, man. That lifeline. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Forever. And I want that to be forever as he goes out into the world and always can call me for something. You know?
Absolutely.
I get emo thinking about it, dude. Like not growing up with a dad and just having that. Just fucking.
Isn't it amazing that you can be that though? You could be that father, man. Like you are that father. Like that one that you were supposed to have, right?
Yeah.
You're it. Like it's like that's the beautiful thing and all the whole story, right? Is like even with mine, like he was not there, right? But it's like I get to give my son this experience that I didn't get to have.
100%, man.
How powerful is that? It's amazing. You know,
beautiful, dude.
Suiting up and showing up and doing the right thing, man. It's like good things happen when we do that, you know.
No, 100%.
It's the best. As Nacho Libre would say. It's the best.
So Ego Trip is out now. When's it come out? The whole album's out now.
Album's all out right now, worldwide, all platforms.
And what's the singles that are out now? Kill the Noise?
So Kill the Noise is the one that's at radio.
Yep.
We had a #1 single. Yeah, nice. I was stoked about that, dude. Man. I was super grateful, you know, like
that's awesome.
That's on our maiden voyage with New Noise again, you know, and like doing this independently and, you know, making an impact with our music and our fans like so far of like, you know, digging this record. I'm sure there's going to be some people like, oh, fucking what? But it's like,
you can't please everyone, dude.
Exactly.
You gotta please yourself sometimes, man.
And then sometimes we get this joke, or not this joke, but this comment, hey, dude, why don't you do like your old school style? And I'm like, okay, hold on. We've been around so long. What version of us is old school to you? Is it like, is it 2000s Papa Roach? Or is it 2005 or 2010? Is that which one? Because those are all kind of old school. So, you know, there were different things happening, you know, so it's like, whatever, dude. We're just going to keep plowing forward and doing our thing. And, you know, we got a great crew around us, man. We're working with young producers, which I love. They match our energy. Yeah. And that's a really good thing. I want to make records that feel like it's like this, right? It's
totally.
like I'm here at your house, microphone set up in the kitchen, we're throwing down. I recorded half the vocals in Airbnbs on an that's not an SM7, close though.
Yeah.
SM7, pair of headphones, and a laptop.
Sick.
And my producer in the room with me, and
So cool.
and we're going off. It's like,
I love it, man.
That's
the new way, dude.
It's the best way, dude. It's like these $high studios. I'm like, y'all are dead.
I know.
It's
man.
done. Those days are over. We'll come and cut drums. We'll show up for a week and do drums, or 3 or 4 days. But I'm not gonna pay that big old budget, dude. I get a cool
It's so
Airbnb.
true. Look at
and
Billie
rock.
Eilish and her brother doing songs and records in their
Right?
bedroom, dude.
Dude, that girl's so talented. Her and Phineas, like those,
Incredible, man.
just so talented, and just from what I've seen about her and how she presents herself and who she is, and
yeah.
just a real kid, like a real human, just
Amazing
a good
family.
human, and just like, I love that, man. Like, keep on shining, girl. Like,
I love it, man.
It's rad, my friend.
I'm taking my son to see her tomorrow.
Ah,
I'm friends with her mom, Maggie. Shout out to Maggie. She was on my podcast.
that's
She's an
dope.
incredible family.
Okay, cool.
I love that family. I love their unit. I love how they support each other. They're
That's
compassionate. They give back to the environment. Everything, man. And the community, they're awesome.
Hell
man.
yeah, that's gonna be a good show, dude.
Yeah, I'm
I'll be there in
stoked.
spirit.
What do you think that keeps you going? Like, what keeps you passionate about Papa Roach still 30 years later?
It's the underdog thing. I always feel like the underdog for some odd reason.
No matter what, even with all the everything, yeah.
All the successes and, you know, Grammy nomination, those kind of nods, like, it's still like, it's not about the adoration. I don't feel. I just feel like it's in me. Like, I just have to.
Yeah.
I like. Here it is.
You need to.
I am created to create.
Yes.
It's like I'm just being an extension of what, like, I'm here for, which is creation, creative. Every human, I believe, is created to create. Like, we're all creative in our own rights and own ways. We all have our own unique gifts, talents, and abilities. It's just where does it shine, and where do you let it come through, and how do you not let the world just beat you down and stamp that out of you? Yeah. And there's been moments where I felt like, you know, maybe I don't have it anymore. Maybe it's not worth it. And then I get back in the studio and start working with the band and start writing songs, and that magic, right? That thing that something out of nothing.
Love it.
Right? It's like that moment where it comes to life, and then I put it in the car after we write it, and then I'm driving around town bumping it, and I'm like, it's rad.
Yeah, you're excited, man.
Yeah, man. I can't tell you how many times during the pandemic we were down here in North Hollywood working on stuff. 2 a.m, I would go out in my truck and just crank this shit up to 10, no traffic on the road, just listening to the music, just so excited about this album that we were creating. And I'm a fan of what we do. I love my band. I love how we create together. It's painful, it's nasty, you've
been through a lot, man.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's like on the edge of fighting words, you know, and
it's like dysfunctional family love each other, brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that volatility, you know, it makes something special that we have, and we honor that and understand that, you know. And
you never wanted to quit?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's been a few times I sat down with the band, I'm like, I can't do this anymore, man. I just don't have it in me, man. And then, you know, we'll go do some shows and we'll talk some things out and get through some resentments or some issues or some problems.
I love that.
And then all of a sudden I'm in love with it again, right? It's like I have a tendency to get in my own way, and half of the issues are self-sabotage, I guess.
But it saved your life, I feel like, this band and music and everything.
Yeah, man. It's given me a purpose, and it's given me to be, you know, an opportunity to be part of something bigger than just myself.
Yeah.
You know, and to connect with people, and to be part of the positive flow of life. And, you know, music brings people together.
I know I was going to ask this. One of my last questions is, like, do you consider yourself an optimist or pessimist? But you're so positive, man.
Yeah, I got to be I'm definitely an optimist. Always have been.
Through
always
everything.
Will be. Yes.
And you never stop believing in yourself either, which is beautiful.
It's, you know, it's been a wild road for me. And forgiving myself has been one of the biggest tools to freedom for me, and being a little easier on myself. But yeah, man, I love this rock and roll music. I got a passion and lust for life. I love putting smiles on people's faces. I love people smiling.
I love that too, man.
And I love bringing people together with music. You know, it's like we play a concert. 2 people could be next to each other that are bickering and fighting online. They don't even know it. and they're like high-fiving at a rock show.
That's sick.
It's like, come on, we need this, people.
Yeah.
Unity as one, stand together. Unity.
Yes.
Revolution's gonna come. Like, dude, that was in my mind since Op Ivy planted the seed, dude.
That's
Unity. It's like, come on,
man.
man. That's like, it's a way of life, dude. I see it, man.
I love it, man.
I love that music is that in the world.
I love the music, and it brought us together in my kitchen right now.
For surely.
Some like almost two different worlds, but not really. It's a small world. We're all connected.
It's like once you're in a band, right, and you do this thing and you struggle out there on the road and you understand this thing that we do, and
there's this respect with each other.
Exactly.
It's common respect.
No, ska band, punk band,
doesn't matter.
Pop group, Justin Timberlake, right? I'm in Europe and they're like, JT wants to come meet you, and I'm like, I was clowning Backstreet Boys in the press, right? And I'm like, all right. JT comes backstage and I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, man, it's like WWE, dude. The wrestlers, they say this out there, but it's like behind the scenes, we're all doing. And he like set me straight.
Wow.
I was like, you're right, dude. And I was like, I'm a punk, dude. Talking smack on this dude. He's dope. Now I'm a fan.
Yeah, I love
now
JT.
I'm buying his records, dude. I'm like,
dude.
he's so great.
So talented.
Yeah.
What was your last real job?
My last real job, I was a janitor at a hospital. And I love that. It was a great job. And the reason I love that job is
How old were you?
I was 23.
Okay.
23. I stripped and mopped floors. I waxed floors. What else did I do? I worked the autoclave. The autoclave was where you would take all like the biohazard bags, throw them in there, and it's like a steamer.
Yeah.
I worked the incinerator at the hospital.
Wow.
I would burn body parts, like boxes. I would go around and pick up boxes.
Shit.
We would have to weigh them.
That's gnarly.
Write down the weight, then put it in, burn them, pull the ashes out, weigh the ashes, log it. It's an interesting job, right? I always wonder whether we're in those boxes,
Wow, man.
That was an interesting one.
So that's the last job before everything takes off. Holy crap, dude.
And honestly, I love that job. And it wasn't because necessarily the work. It was because of people I worked with. I love the people I worked with. They were awesome people. And
that's incredible.
It was cool
man.
because the job was dope. And they would Thursday, Friday. If I needed Thursday and Friday off, I could take those off and like make it up the next couple weeks. Go do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, quick little 4-day. Get back to work. Pay the bills, kind of thing. And that was a like transitional thing. And then next thing you know, the band got signed.
It's beautiful, man.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more.
And then if you had to name your top 5. It could be hip hop, it could be music, it could be inspirations.
Oh man. So top 5.
It's hard, man. Let's do hip hop first. Let's try that.
All right.
I know what you're gonna say one of them, but let's see.
Okay. I say Funk Dubious.
Wow.
Number 5.
The Dubious. What?
Yeah, totally.
I was in the House of Pain. Shamrock Shenanigans with him.
Serious?
Yeah, I met him in New York.
Oh man,
Shamrock
Funk Doobie.
Shenanigans.
Dude,
the funkiest.
Dude, that's
He's
so
an
sick.
ill cat, man. Son
Absolutely.
Doobie.
Dude, I love them.
Where are they from? Your area?
I don't even know where they're from, dude. I just know I love
Nobody's
their music.
ever mentioned Funk Dubious on my podcast.
Oh yeah, Funk Dubious. I was
that is
into
so
it, dude.
cool.
Okay, Sarah. Yeah, dude, I was all into those.
Son
guys.
Doobie's a real one too.
Yeah. All right. I never met him, never known. So Funk Dubious.
Wow.
Tribe Called Quest, number 4. I love that. Midnight Marauders, you could put that record on.
Fire.
Every time. It's just like, it stands up. No, you don't need to skip nothing. It's just
perfect
let it play. Biggie.
Ooh.
Yeah, Biggie. I love Biggie.
Got
love
2 East Coast cats in there.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, shoot. Nas, probably number 2. And then Wu-Tang, number 1 for me.
Amazing, bro.
But Nas, I mean, he just dropped a new record that I dig, man.
I love it, man.
It's good.
The short one, the 7 songs.
Yep. No, it's just
Magic.
Like, let's go.
It's Magic. It's called Magic.
Yeah,
it's great.
Good work. And so,
dude, you put 4 East Coast cats and Funk Dubious. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what I liked. I mean, I really prefer East Coast over West Coast hip hop.
Okay.
That was always, I
Respect.
like Helter Skelter, Ruck and Rock, like all those kind of cats.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah, dude, I love the Roots. That was like Illadelph Half-Life. I should have named them.
Dang, the Roots too.
They blew my mind
They never
away.
get enough props either, man.
Oh, one of the best. I saw them with Rage Against the Machine back in the day. They murdered my everything.
Damn.
Because, dude, they were such a great live band, and they just dropped bars, and like the combination of that was just done.
Yeah. What about rock or punk? What do you got for that?
Okay, so for me, my top 5, that's tough for me,
Snapcase
man.
got to be in that bitch.
Ooh, let's go, dude. Top 5 out bands of all time. Fuck,
it's hard,
why
right?
are you making me do this?
Led Zeppelin's in there?
No. I'd say
The Beatles? No.
I love the Beatles, but no. Number 5, I'd probably say Red Hot Chili Peppers for me. They were like, that was because I love that funky bass.
Great.
I love the way they blended funk and punk. And Tobin, our bass player, knew all the Red Hot Chili Peppers songs.
Perfect.
And I would just watch him play it. I'd sit in
and
be enamored by him just playing Freaky Styley and all that
Freaky
shit.
Styley, yeah.
Come on. Uplift Mofo Party Plan, all that shit.
Amazing.
Early on. So Chili Peppers.
Poison?
Nah, I loved them at the time, but they didn't stand the test of time for me. Top 5 though. So yeah, we got Chili Peppers. I would say we'll put Snapcase in there. We'll put Snap because they were transformative for us because that made
They're
us
gonna be so stoked on this.
That made me discover like the riff, the groove riff, this just break your neck groove riff, and love that.
That is so cool.
I'll say Faith No More, probably
Yes.
number 3. I just love Mike Patton, the way he approaches it.
Great frontman.
Yeah, one of the wildest most gnarliest,
too.
just crazy frontman. And all right, so number 2. Man, you're making me just.
Let's think. We'll take your time.
No, it's all right. I got it. It's coming to me right now. Don't worry. You can edit this if you want to. Number 2 for me.
I think I know when you're gonna say it, but I'm not gonna say it. Let's see who's gonna.
Probably Deftones.
Yes, I was gonna write that down right now.
Yeah, Deftones. I'll go with that.
Love you, Chino.
Yeah, dude.
He
Straight
listens
up.
to the podcast, so we hear.
Yeah, he's one of my. The band is one of my favorites, all the way from the beginning to now. You know, and there's been moments when I'm like, oh, okay, that one's all right. Oh, this one's dope. Like they hit you like that, right? And sometimes I'll let a record sit and I'll like listen to it a couple times, and then I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then I'll go back to it, and I'm like, fall in love with it.
Of course.
And it's like those grower type of records have always been, a big deal for me.
So we got one more.
Oh man,
Chili Peppers, Snapcase, Deftones. What's the other one?
Faith No More.
Faith No More.
Oh,
that's a sick list, though.
Number 1, dude. Number 1.
Let's think.
Number 1. Oh God, it's gonna go. Social Distortion.
Woo!
Mike Ness, dude, is like,
he's a legend.
If there's like a top guy to me, like, it's the culture that he created. It's the way that he would tell a story.
Amazing storyteller.
It just he moves me.
He's a G.
And you know what? It's like, obviously the early records are great, but White Light, White Heat, White Trash. Amazing. To me, that record, Chuck Biscuit's playing drums on that one. It's the one to me. I can go back to that album any day, and it speaks to my soul.
I love it.
And I love the redemption in the record. I love the fucking down on the world again, the pain and the anger. Feel ashamed of you ever. Oh God.
He just turned 60 too, by the way. Shout out to Mike Ness.
He's a badass. I've never met him, man.
He's awesome.
I'll keep it that way. I'll just let it be a mystery. But I know that he's been a sober man for many years, and that's like quietly from the sideline, like, thank you, Mike Ness, for being that type of example, because like I've always looked up to him as a writer and as a musician, and like it's always been inspiring to me. So yeah, that's my top 5.
He's a real one. These are great top. Shout out to Funk Dubious.
Oh,
I'm so happy. And Snapcase, they never made on this podcast. 160 episodes, nobody ever mentioned Snapcase or Funk Dubious.
Boom.
So cool.
We go deep, brother.
And they're gonna be really happy too.
Hell yeah.
I'll make sure I covered all my notes, man. I really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. I've had a blast, man.
This is fucking awesome.
Absolutely, dude.
It goes by fast. We just talking. It's super fun.
We've been having a hootenanny up in here,
dude. So the new record's out. Ego Trip. You can find you on Instagram, Papa Roach. Also your personal page.
Yeah, Jacoby Shaddix on Instagram, Facebook, all those, TikTok. Actually, I don't have a TikTok, but Papa Roach got a TikTok. We're dorking out on TikTok, dude. I don't even care. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm getting on this app. I'm not going to do it. I'm on it.
I know. People try. I know.
I'm having so much fun with it, dude.
My son's in there, too. He tells me about it.
I'll be having fun with it, dude. I'm like, I'm not going to be dance monkey, but I will go in and have a good time. And I like to cut it up. Yeah. I'm a humorous dude.
Yeah.
And so it's a great way to kind of
I love that about yourself. You don't take yourself too seriously and you laugh at yourself.
Bro, I'm going to cut my life into pizza guy. Come on. It's like, I'm that guy. I'll be that guy. It's cool.
But I love that. You can laugh. You know what I'm saying? I love that, dude. Life's too short to be taking yourself too seriously, man.
It's way too short, bro.
As I sit here on my 52nd birthday,
feeling
young, and inspired. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
It's just a fucking number.
Absolutely, man. I'm still inspired, man. I'm still loving
you
this
do.
life,
You inspire
man.
me. This conversation inspired me. And
Yeah.
I love your journey. I appreciate you sharing with me all you contributed to the world with your music, everything, your energy, your lyrics. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you back for real.
I'm glad we've been here and chopping it up. This is way overdue.
We finally made it happen.
I know,
We've been going back and forth on this. I'm like, yeah, I'll be down there, and I get caught up, and here we are.
And you're
glad
super
we did
busy
it.
too, and I appreciate your time.
We'll do it again, though, man. I'd love to chop it up some
and
more,
shout out
man.
to your wife one more time. We shout out to our wives in this podcast.
Absolutely, man. We got
They're
great
holding
wives.
it down, bro.
I love you.
We're very lucky,
I'm about to go have
man.
dinner with her too. I'll be like, ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, I love you.
And final shout out to Jacoby. Your hair is off the chain. It's incredible. I seen it on the gram. I wanted to see it in real life. If that shit is real, it's legit. It's perfect.
This ain't no gig wig.
You have no gray hair either, huh?
Maybe like a couple in there.
You're aging really. I mean, you're 45. You look great, man.
Keeping
For all
it
the
together.
shit you've been through,
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
you have some good skin.
Yeah, man. Water, bro. Just drink tons of water, man.
Lots of H2O, lots of liquid
A
death.
lot of this liquid death brings you the life.
All right, mad love, bro. Thank you for being here.
Mad love.
We're back on the phone. So how are you doing, Jacoby? I'm so psyched to drop this episode, but sometimes I'm a space cadet and forget about things. So 2 things real quick. One is thank you for your time, and 2
Absolutely.
is that I remember. So I know I mentioned it briefly in the podcast, but I do remember me and you talking on the phone. I'm not sure if it was during the height of Last Resort or whatever, but somebody had connected us, and you called me. We talked about straight edge for a moment. I don't know if you remember that. It was a long time ago.
Damn, dude, this is like old school.
Yeah, you hit me up on the phone and somebody had connected. You just asked me questions. Maybe you trying to get sober back then. I'm not sure, but you asked me all these questions about straight edge, and it was really awesome. Like, because we never met each other before, but somehow we knew about each other. Obviously, we knew about each other, and just somebody had connected us during that moment. I remember that the other day.
That's so random. Yeah, man, I was wilding out on that Warped Tour, man.
Yeah,
And I probably a few moments on that Warped Tour where I was like, all right, maybe this whole drinking thing ain't working out for me.
yeah.
Maybe this straight edge thing would work out for me.
Straight edge.
You know, here I am years later. I got straight edge.
You got straight edge, son? No, I love it. I love it. It was just that moment back then. And then I'll never forget that because it was cool. Just out of anybody in the world you could call, you hit me up, and I thought it was awesome because you were all over the TV. You were everywhere, man. It was crazy. So it was awesome.
Hey, man, I appreciate you taking my call, man, and
For sure.
and hearing me out.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean?
And then so this song, hopefully I can play this on the podcast because if it's under 15 seconds, you won't get in trouble. But I got my boy here with me too. He's gonna play on the phone. But so Little Yachty has a song called SB 2021 that my son loves, and I heard it.
Okay.
And before I had you on the podcast, I heard it, and I heard the word Papa Roach. I was like, oh shit! And then so the lyrics is this is Sada and this is a scuba boat. They called us the goat, sipping triz. This is my last resort, just like Papa Roach.
What?
I'm gonna play it for you right now. You ready?
Oh, snap. Let's
Okay,
hear
here we
this.
go. Did you hear it?
What? Dude, that trips me out.
Did you just hear that clearly on the okay? You hear it all right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that
crazy,
trips
dude?
me out, man.
So that's Little Yachty. So that's generations and generations way after. I'm not saying they were older, but I'm saying that's like he's still people love Little Yachty still. And this was like his almost like a comeback record for him too, in a sense, in 2021.
Yeah, man, that's wild that he's referencing us in a track. That trips me out. You know, it's like there's this other rapper, this kid named Russ. And
I know Russ, RUSS. Yeah.
Yeah. And he shouts us out in one of his songs. And my friend had pointed that out to me, and I was like, I'm gonna check this kid out. And the kid's talented, dude. He's popping off too,
He
man.
is, and he's super independent, super DIY, does all of his own beats. He started from the bottom, and he like people hate on him because he's so not industry and he does everything himself, and like he sells out like arenas, dude. It's crazy, dude.
Good for him, man. You know what? That's like, I think that's awesome when I hear stories about these artists that coming up in this day and age and completely doing it independent and doing it their way. It's just mad respect.
100%. It's super inspiring too. Like especially because we know that from punk rock and all the other stuff, but like in hip hop too, it's awesome, man.
Well, dude, that's what I learned from the hip hop and the hardcore scene was like that DIY hustle. You know?
100%.
That was my deal. And it's alive and well, dude, because I got to get out there and hustle, because we're running the record company now.
I love it, dude. I've been talking to Daryl from Snapcase. I told him that you mentioned him on the podcast. He was super psyched. I'd love to connect you guys in the future, but it was so man. Cool, man.
Absolutely. I'm real tight with John Salemi, one of the guitar players.
Oh yeah. John's the best, dude.
John always rolls out to the shows when we're up in Buffalo, and
so cool.
Yeah, man, good dude, good people. Love those people.
Well, awesome, Joe. But yeah, so that song's Little Yachty. It's SB 2021, and it's like the first verse. They name drop Papa Roach and Lazarus. I thought that was amazing. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but really appreciate it. It was really great to connect with you. I really want to hang with you soon. Hopefully sooner than later, man. We'll keep in touch, and that's what I love about the pod, just actually connecting with people they haven't really connected with before and thought you really knew or didn't know, and then you hang out with them for 2 hours, and that's my favorite part of this podcast, man. So
absolutely, man, absolutely. It was cool. I got to say this before I cut. My manager, Ian, he came with me, right?
Yeah.
And he sat in the room with your buddy,
Tim
and they
Millhouse.
just knew so many people.
Yeah.
Like so many the same people. And he was like, man, that was awesome. I was like, I walked out the room after our podcast session. I was like, dude, that was sick. He was all, I know, I was sick. So dude, we both had a great time, man.
Good, man. It makes me happy, man. Really happy that it worked out and it happened. And yeah, man, I hope to see you sooner than later, bro. I'm stoked on the record.
Next time I'm in town, dude, you got to take me to the dope vegan spot, dude.
I got you, bro. I got you, man.
I got that straight edge, dude. Now you have to turn me vegan.
Jacoby's straight edge vegan would be so sick. I love it though, dude. I believe in you, man. You got, dude. You've been through so much, dude. After knowing your story, bro, nothing would surprise me, man. It's awesome.
Hey, it's all about change, man.
That's
where
brother.
it's at.
Well, I'll speak to you soon, and I'm stoked for you, and I hope to see you soon, brother. Thank you for your time again today.
Absolutely, Toby. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to the next one.